When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey. When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, listening from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. This is the Good Morning program, the Make We Talk program right here. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell me if you all are hearing me loud and clear. Are you hearing me from your neck of the woods? To all my family and friends on my YouTube channel, good morning to you. For those who are watching us in South Africa, Kenya, no, there's a big riot going on in Kenya. I was told this morning that if I want a live feed out of Kenya, I can get it. I haven't decided my mind on that as yet because we have to deal with this, what is going on with the Director of Public Prosecution, Miss Paula Llewellyn, rather. I'm pronouncing her name correctly. For some reason, my tongue is always tired when it comes on to her. But the Director of Public Prosecution determined to remain as Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecution. We're going to be having a simulcast broadcast this morning on Sugar Wayne Rockers Radio. We're going to have a simulcast broadcast this morning on Sugar Wayne Rockers Radio. He's going to join us pretty soon. Going to let me know when he's on. But based on what is going on in Jamaica, you know, wherein the Director of Public Prosecution, Miss Paula, and the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, Delroy Truck, both of them held bend in making sure that this lady remain Director of Public Prosecution. Legal submission begun in the appeal court yesterday in the ruling regarding to the Constitutional Court ruling on the retirement age of the Director of Public Prosecution. So yesterday they begin submission. This morning at 9 o'clock Jamaica time, it starts all over again. It's a possibility that Jamaica may end up seeing the good lady remain Director of Public Prosecution. You must know your father chat too much in the Peter. You and your father is involved in those type of things, you hear? You and your father involved in those type of things. I think that is why you all come over here. None of us is looking those type of people. You and your father involved in those type of things. And that is why I'm taking up for these people, because your party has a lot of people in there who is that type of person. You, Peter Miller. Can't even spell. Yes. Those people, we don't want them over here. We don't want those other people over here to talk about these things. Eh? You must know. We must ask the question, why is it that they're spending taxpayers' money in making sure that the director of public, well, you can't say former director because obviously she's still the director based on what is going on. Based on what is going on, we can't say she's former director. No, man, I delete those type of people. You know. Delete them from this platform. Man, your father must know why. Your father chat too much. Anyway, let's be professional this morning. The director, the government of Jamaica is spending taxpayers' money to take the constitutional court ruling of the retirement age of the Director of Public Prosecution. So obviously, what the goodly lady said on a famous radio station about she involved in tainted jurors don't mean nothing to these people. The retirement age is 65. It don't mean nothing to none of these people who are in power. Don't mean anything to none of them. So as far as they're concerned, the lady can go back in, and those who are in retirement don't mean anything to none of them. And those who are in retirement age must go and retire, while she must come back in and remain Jamaica's chief prosecutor, who is the Director of Public Prosecution, Miss Paula. You see? She must remain the Director of Public Prosecution. Whether we like it, yes or no. Whether we like it, yes or no, she has to remain the Director of Public Prosecution. Because the Constitution in Jamaica doesn't apply to either the Prime Minister, the Minister of Justice, nor the DPP. Jamaica look like it's paying two Director of Public Prosecution, the acting one and the one who was there before. Obviously, the one who says acting, she's not really acting then. The person who's calling the shot. The person who is calling the shot is the Director of Public Prosecution. Who is there? Miss Thompson. Or is it Paula who's calling the shot? Those are the questions we must ask this morning. Those are the questions that we must ask this morning. We're simulcasting this morning on Sugar Wayne Rockers Radio out of Jamaica. Good morning to all the Jamaican family out there. We're going to open up the phone lines to the Jamaican people soon for them to call in. But we want to make sure that you all get what I am saying here. And I want you to listen to a news clipping of what the Court of Appeal said yesterday. We all need to stand up in this country. You know. We can't just sit down and allow people to not having a scant regard for the constitution of this country. Listen to this.
Justices Sonia Wint Blair, Simone Wolfe Rees, and Tricia Hutchinson Shelley had struck down the second extension of Paula Llewellyn's tenure in April. The judges found the extension unconstitutional, null, void, and of no legal effect. The unanimous lower court reasoned that by passing the amendment, the Holness administration conferred a power on Paula Llewellyn that was never contemplated by the drafters of Jamaica's constitution. The judges held that the framers of the constitution...
Hold on for me, please. Hold on for me, please. Hold on for me. QR game, please. It is freedom of speech, yes. But I'm asking you to come on the platform for me, please. Be very respectful on this platform, please. I don't disrespect people. I don't go to any other people platform and disrespect them. So I'm asking you to come on this platform, please, QRC. Be very much respectful to me, no man. Please. Do apologize about that. Let's go back to the clipping here, the news clipping here.
Justices Sonia Wint Blair, Simone Wolfe Rees, and Tricia Hutchinson Shelley had struck down the second extension of Paula Llewellyn's tenure in April. The judges found the extension unconstitutional, null, void, and of no legal effect. The unanimous lower court reasoned that by passing the amendment, the Holness administration conferred a power on Paula Llewellyn that was never contemplated by the drafters of Jamaica's constitution. The judges held that the framers of the constitution did not empower the holder of the office of DPP, who they describe as a public servant, to decide the terms and conditions of service or on retirement from office. But Allan Wood is having none of it. On Monday, he told Justices Straw, Harris, and Lang that the ruling issued in April contained totally inconsistent reasoning, had made a fundamental error, and amounted to a legal absurdity. Wood told the three judges of appeal that he made those observations with what he describes as all due respect. According to Wood, once the Constitutional Court had found that the constitutional amendment increasing the retirement age of the DPP and the Auditor General was validly enacted into law, that should have been the end of the matter. He says the lower court should have rejected the constitutional challenge filed by the PNP's Philip Paulwell and Peter Bunting. The King's Counsel says it is logically inconsistent to hold that the first section of the amendment was lawful, but then rule that the second part could not be legally applied to Paula Llewellyn's tenure in office. He noted that the lower court committed a legal error in determining that the amendment did not extend Ms. Llewellyn's tenure. Wood said if the courts were to uphold the amendment, but then look at what was obtained before the amendment in deciding what was lawful, the law would be in a realm he said he could not possibly describe. Paula Llewellyn listened to the arguments intently, occasionally nodding her head in agreement with the arguments being advanced for her continuation in office as the country's chief prosecutor. The Attorney General is being represented by the law firm Livingston, Alexander and Levy. King's Counsels Allan Wood and Ransford Braham are leading the team on behalf of the government. Paula Llewellyn has been granted leave to appear in the matter as an interested party. She is represented by former Solicitor General Douglas Lays. The PNP is being represented by the law firm Hilton Powell, with former Solicitor General King's Counsel Michael Hilton as their lead counsel. The hearing continues at 9:30 Tuesday morning.
Now tell me something now. Is it that they are saying that the Constitutional Court don't have any say? I'm no lawyer, and I'm not trying to profess to be one. But based on what we are being told in this newscast here, the judges are saying that the Constitutional Court struck down and struck up on her kind of up and down? Or is it that it didn't make any sense for us to take to the Constitutional Court because the Constitutional Court have no sense? And now the Court of Appeal. Don't be surprised if the Court of Appeal return her as Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecution, you know. I want you all to listen to well-known journalists on her YouTube channel, Dion Jackson Miller. What Dion Jackson Miller said on her YouTube channel. I want you all to listen to this.
In the DPP, how is it that there is this court battle over whether the DPP Paula Llewellyn, let's call this one the case of the determined DPP. How is it that there is this court battle over whether the DPP Paula Llewellyn should stay in office? Gonna break it down for you, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me courtside once again. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Now, let's just start out by saying that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, that's the DPP, is a really powerful office. The roles, the functions, they're set out in the Constitution. And what the Constitution says is that in doing his or her job, the DPP isn't subject to anybody's direction or control. In other words, nobody can tell the DPP how to do his or her job. Powerful stuff. The Constitution also says the DPP is supposed to retire at the age of 60, but there can be an extension. If the Prime Minister, after consultation with the leader of the opposition, recommends to the Governor General that there should be an extension, the Governor General can allow for an extension of up to 5 years. So what happened here? Well, this is about Paula Llewellyn, the first woman Director of Public Prosecutions in Jamaica. And I should say that she made some very important changes to the office. An important one is that of transparency and explaining, giving reasons for what she did. So it's common, for instance, for her to make a decision in a matter and then to send out a long statement quoting law and explaining exactly why it is she did that. And she also speaks to the media a lot. So for some people, it was too much. You know, there are some people who criticized her for this very public profile. I should tell you, I am not one of them, not just because I'm a member of the media, but also because I think transparency is important. Nowadays, people want to understand what is happening in government. And I think public servants do have a responsibility to explain to the public why they're doing what they're doing. Anyway, let's go back to the story. So, Ms. Llewellyn was due to retire in September 2020. That's when she would have reached her 60th birthday. But earlier that year, she wrote to the Public Services Commission, that's the body that appoints public servants, and asked for an extension. The Prime Minister consulted with the leader of the opposition and recommended an extension of 5 years. The leader of the opposition at that time was Dr. Peter Phillips. He said, no, absolutely not. Apparently, he wasn't impressed with the kind of job that the DPP had done while in office. He also thought she spoke to the media too much, and he said all of this in some very strong language. So what ended up happening was that the Prime Minister recommended to the Governor General that her term in office be extended for 3 years. So that's what happened. She got.
So hold on here now. Her term was extended for 3 years. All right, let me put this thing up here so everybody can see me too. There it is. There is the goodly lady on one side and on the other side. So what I don't understand though, they extend her tenure at 65. This is all confusing in a sense, you know. But you know something? It's shown to you that the forefathers who formulated our Constitution are rolling in their grave now to see where these leaders are trampling on the fundamental rights of the Jamaican people, have no scant regard for the Constitution of this country. Listen to some more of what Dion Jackson Miller have to say on her YouTube channel.
Got a 3-year extension. So what that means, doing the math, is that she was now expected to retire in September 2023 when she reached the age of 63. But earlier in 2023, earlier in the year again, she wrote to the PSC again, that's the Public Service Commission, asking for another extension. The commission said no. The Constitution says you can only get one extension. And also, they said the Prime Minister had taken legal advice and had also said no. So you would think it would finish there.
Hold on there. So if the Prime Minister got legal advice and the PM said no to the Director of Public Prosecution, why is she hell-bent in remaining the director? And if the PM said no and Delroy Truck went to Parliament, or whosoever went to Parliament, and got an extension for her, but the Constitutional Court says no, how is it the Prime Minister now come out and say, look here, I have already said no, and what I said is final? Is there something going on here that we don't understand? I want you all to listen to some more of what the goodly lady, who's an attorney at law, Lady Dion Jackson Miller, had to say.
You would think that Paula would now be on the beach in the grill somewhere, drinking mimosas or blended fruit punch, or somewhere in her garden tending orchids or whatever it is she does. Clearly, I don't know what it is she does. That was not what happened. What happened instead was that we started to hear talk about some kind of mechanism to give her an extension. And then the government brought to Parliament an act to amend the Constitution to extend the retirement age for the Director of Public Prosecution as well as the DPP for up to 65 years, up to the age of 65. This act was brought to the House of Representatives on the 25th of July, 2023, and it was tabled, it was debated, and it was passed in one day. A couple of days later, the same thing happened in the Senate, and a few days after that, the Governor General signed the act into law. Now, this act did two things. One, it extended the retirement age of the DPP as well as the Auditor General up to 65 years, as I've mentioned. The second thing it did, though, was to say that whoever was DPP when this act came into effect, and that could only be Paula Llewellyn, could then elect, could choose to remain in office after the age of 60. So in August, Ms. Llewellyn writes to the PSC, the Public Service Commission, to say that she's electing to remain in office until the age of 65. So why does all this matter? Why were people upset about this? A couple of things. One, it's very, very unusual to see an act to amend the Constitution be treated in this way in terms of being rushed through Parliament like this. The Justice Minister said he was just trying to get it through before the Parliament went on break. However, when you're amending the Constitution, normally you're going to have consultation with the opposition. You're certainly going to talk to the public. The public is going to want to know what's going on. And that really didn't happen here. As I said, the bill was just brought to Parliament, rushed through in a single day, and hurriedly brought into law. Now, the issue as well in relation to that second thing that the act did, which was to allow Ms. Llewellyn to choose to remain in office. If you're wondering why it is that nobody's talking about the role of the Auditor General in all of this, it's because that's really not the issue. The Auditor General hadn't reached retirement age, so any act to extend her retirement age wasn't going to change anything in terms of what had already happened. And let me say what I mean by that. Ms. Llewellyn, on the other hand, had already reached retirement age. She had got her extension. So the concern was that what this act was doing by allowing her to decide to remain in office was going against what the Constitution intended.
You hear? You all hear? It was going against what the Constitution of Jamaica intended. Very key words. Going against what the Constitution of this country intended. So that is to show you that these people are breaching the Constitution of the land. And why is it that the DPP want to stay on? Why the DPP want to stay on? Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. We're also live on Sugar Wayne Rockers Radio over there in Kingston City, Jamaica. Huh? We, the people of our country, should never allow them to be spending taxpayers' money in the appeals court to appeal what the Constitutional Court has handed down against the DPP. That she must go home, go sit down. Huh? Hold on for me. My good friend Wilfred Ratigan is calling. One moment for me, please. Will, I'm live on air. All right, cool. Yes. Huh? Why is it that we must allow these things to continue? Something is not right somewhere. Something is not right. Listen to some more of what attorney at law, journalist Dion Jackson Miller is saying. Learning a lot this morning from Dion Jackson Miller.
That's what I mean when I said there is this difference between the situation in relation to the Auditor General as well as with the DPP.
You hear that? There's a difference between the Auditor General and the DPP. The Auditor General did not reach the age of retirement, but the DPP did.
The other thing is that there was actually a constitutional reform committee, not commission. There was a constitutional reform committee that was set up and that was discussing the Constitution and was going to be making recommendations for change. So the question was being asked, why not allow the committee to look at this issue and make a recommendation instead of having the committee operating and then rushing this bill through Parliament to obviously to affect what was happening with the DPP's office. So the opposition then challenged this act in court. Now, they challenged it on a number of different grounds. The court disagreed with most of them, but here's the thing with the law and with court, you only need to win 1 point. If you say, hey, I think this act is unconstitutional based on A, B, C, D, E, and the court says, I disagree with A, B, C, D, but you're right on E, you win the case. So in this case, they did win the case, even though the court disagreed with them on most of their submissions. So this is what the court said. The court said that the part of the law that simply said the retirement ages of the Auditor General and Director of Public Prosecutions is going to be extended to 65. That was fine. No problem there. That could remain. But they said the part of the law that said the current DPP could choose to stay in office after the age of 60, that part of the law was unconstitutional, null and void and of no effect. A bunch of words that the courts use when they're saying, not negoso, we're throwing this out. So here's what the court said. They said that that particular part of the law gave a right to the DPP that did not exist before, and that she was going to be able to exercise this power to stay in office to the exclusion of the opposition leader. If you remember what I said earlier, the way the Constitution says that it should work is that the Prime Minister, after consultation with the leader of the opposition, would then recommend to the Governor General this extension, and the Governor General could then allow the extension. The way this particular part of the act was set up, it looked as if the leader of the opposition had been cut out of the equation entirely. And the court said that what was happening, according to the new act, was not the way the framers of the Constitution had intended the process to work. So a number of interesting things happened after that, because it's Jamaica, so story not done. Now, the government said they disagreed with the ruling and they intended to appeal. Okay, fine. But then they also said that the DPP was going to remain in office. And at this point, everybody was like, whoa, hold on, because I have to say to you, most of the lawyers I have spoken with, and I also believe this, I said this publicly on radio, that the ruling of the court striking out the part of the law that said Ms. Llewellyn could choose to stay in office, that what that meant was that after September 2023, when she reached her 63rd birthday, she was no longer DPP. So JAMBA, the Jamaican Bar Association,
One moment for me, please.
You can disagree with the ruling if you want, but the effect of the ruling.
Hold on for me. Are you all getting back the audio? Oh Lord, I do apologize to you. I do apologize to you all. Let me start back. Let me start from where it had no audio. Hold on for me. Here we go. I do apologize.
That did not exist before, and that she was going to be able to exercise this power to stay in office to the exclusion of the opposition leader. If you remember what I said earlier, the way the Constitution says that it should work is that the Prime Minister, after consultation with the leader of the opposition, would then recommend to the Governor General this extension, and the Governor General could then allow the extension. The way this particular part of the act was set up, it looked as if the leader of the opposition had been cut out of the equation entirely. And the court said that what was happening, according to the new act, was not the way the framers of the Constitution had intended the process to work. So a number of interesting things happened after that, because it's Jamaica, so story not done. Now, the government said they disagreed with the ruling and they intended to appeal. Okay, fine. But then they also said that the DPP was going to remain in office. And at this point, everybody was like, whoa, hold on, because I have to say to you, most of the lawyers I have spoken with, and I also believe this, I said this publicly on radio, that the ruling of the court striking out the part of the law that said Ms. Llewellyn could choose to stay in office, that what that meant was that after September 2023, when she reached her 63rd birthday, she was no longer DPP. So JAMBAR, the Jamaican Bar Association, for instance, said, look, you can disagree with the ruling if you want, but the effect of the ruling is that Ms. Llewellyn is no longer DPP. And we started to see some things happen. This was on the same Friday, you know, the same Friday that the ruling was handed down. We heard the St. Anne Circuit Court basically said they can't go any further with the prosecutors in front of them because we don't have any DPP. So the case that was in progress, they said that couldn't go ahead, and the matters were essentially adjourned till Monday. We started to hear concerns about what would happen on Monday, started to hear concerns as to whether or not prosecutors would be able to present in courts all across Jamaica or would choose to present in courts all over Jamaica. Anyway, as them say, trouble set up like rain or trouble not set like rain. On the Sunday now, the government announced the appointment of an acting DPP. So there is a DPP in place now who is not Paula Llewellyn. But here is the question. What is Ms. Llewellyn's status? Remember what I said to you, right? Most of the lawyers are saying that I have spoken to. Let me hasten to say that, as well as the very well-respected Jamaican Bar Association. All these people are saying that Ms. Llewellyn is no longer DPP based on the Supreme Court ruling. Remember, this doesn't have anything to do with whether you agree with them or not, but the court has ruled. And the court says, according to our interpretation, Ms. Llewellyn is no longer DPP. And when the government says they've appointed an acting DPP, and the way they said it was this, that Ms. Llewellyn has advised that at this time, she can't do her job. She can't perform the functions of her office. So what that suggests is that Ms. Llewellyn is still in the picture, but on leave while we have this acting DPP. And again, people are saying, we're not sure about that. We saw the lawyers for the opposition write to the PSC to say, give us some clarity on that. In addition, JAMBAR, the Jamaican Bar Association, also wrote to the PSC and said, give us some clarity on this. The last time I spoke to JAMBAR some weeks ago, they told me they hadn't got a response yet. We don't know if that has changed. So here we are. The matter is now before the Jamaican Court of Appeal. The hearing is going to be held. Arguments are going to be made by the lawyers on both sides. And interestingly, the court has granted the DPP, well, Ms. Llewellyn, former DPP, incumbent DPP. How do we describe her at this point? But the court has allowed her to be involved in the matter as well. So she will have a lawyer in court as well. That's it for now. Thank you so much for joining DPP.
So based on all what Dion Jackson Miller has to say, bang around pan with Father God, this don't look good. Do not be surprised if the Court of Appeal handed down that they need to reinstate Miss Paula as Jamaica's Chief Prosecutor, Director of Public Prosecution. Do not be surprised. I may seem a bit distracted here. I'm trying to find something here. Hold on for me. Do not be surprised. Because if this woman, and I don't understand the courts in our country, she was the one, this current, well, that's what Dion Jackson Miller said. We don't know if she's current or what. We don't know if she's current or what. Good morning. Can you call back, please? Thank you. We don't know if she's current or former, because based on what is going on now, nobody has explained to the people of Jamaica if this woman is current or former. And if the court of our country refuse to do anything in what this woman has admitted on a radio station, listen to this.
Paula Llewellyn's shocking comments on Vibes Cartel Privy Council appeal.
Heat from the Vibes Cartel Privy Council ruling continue. And this morning, for the first time, the DPP was responding since the judgment came down last Thursday morning. And she was asked by Tona and Ricardo about the advice she gave to the judge in the trial after it was revealed that there was an attempt to bribe the jurors.
DPP, having been told that all of your jurors in 2014 had been offered a $500,000 bribe, why did you not advise the judge that it was probably best to dismiss the jury, which was now obviously tainted?
You see, you are now trying to get me to discuss the matter, and I told you that I didn't wish to.
No, but certainly this point, DPP, is important, because here the law lords are saying you advised the judge that you were prepared to proceed even though you knew that the entire panel, 11 jurors, the forewoman told you, had been offered bribes. Wouldn't that mean in your judgment, DPP, that the entire jury, as the law lords have now found, was contaminated and should have been terminated or discharged?
Well, first of all, I am not the judge.
True, but you gave advice that you were prepared to proceed, and what I'm trying to understand.
We were prepared to proceed.
But why were you prepared to proceed with a jury that was contaminated?
No. All the other factors, that some of which I cannot go into in terms of.
So you were thinking about cost. You were thinking about how long the matter had been going.
We were also thinking of security issues. There were a lot of other issues that we cannot go into the public domain, and what our information from the foreman was, what she was saying, was that all of the attempts had to do with acquittal. Clearly, if it had been the other way, we would have, clearly, given the overriding objective of any case, which is fairness to the accused. But what would have been perhaps planted in the mind of the jurors is, okay, you need to acquit. And remember that these persons, at least two of them, are very famous. So it would have been, as far as the prosecution, when we discussed it, we would have been those ones at a great disadvantage. This is not the first time.
But with the greatest respect, DPP, that's not persuasive, because what I want you to focus on is the fact that the process now had been corrupted and contaminated, and you advised the judge that you were comfortable proceeding with a contaminated and corrupt process.
This is not the first time that I have had to deal with jury tampering.
And be that as it may, in the exercise of your judgment, why did you not see it fit to bring to an end a matter that had been corrupted?
After 64 days of trial?
Isn't the interest of protecting the impartial trial greater than the length of time that had elapsed?
I agree with you on paper, but I have done other cases where there has been jury tampering to the great negative of the prosecution. I have seen cases, I've seen jury inquiries where the juror, having been questioned, it was quite clear that it was either an accused person or an accused person's relative that approached the juror. And the juror was able to indicate to the court that it did not make any difference. He would still be able to have an impartial situation in his mind. I have had the experience. I've prosecuted many cases. And when asked, I have indicated that we don't have any problem. So in other words, we are prepared to take our chances and just try to make sure that you have a very powerful address. But this what happened in a couple of the cases I've dealt with, didn't happen during summation. It happened before we got to summation. So I have had the experience before of jury tampering. And I have been asked before, what is my view, being the prosecutor in the matter? And even after the inquiry, it's a judgment. It's quite clear that you don't know if the juror is telling you everything about the encounter with the relative of the accused, but you are willing to take the chance nonetheless. So it has happened. I mean, both myself and Mr. Taylor, who was the prosecutor, we didn't drop from sky. It's not the first case that we are both having to deal with. And in our experience, we have had to deal with cases where you have issues arising.
With the benefit of hindsight, do you regret the submissions you made?
You are not going to get me there. You are not going to get me.
Well, quite an interesting 5 minutes of exchanges there. And the takeaway for me is the DPP seems to be relying on the fact that in her long prosecutorial career, she has made a judgment call, several judgment calls, in a number of instances of jury tampering. And I wonder, does that make it legally correct? It might be a call, because surely, based on what we now have from the Privy Council, jury misconduct undermines the fundamental principle of the justice system of the accused being entitled to a fair trial. And the fact that you have been doing it several occasions.
Somebody just sent me a message a while ago that we need to play both Dion Jackson Miller over for us to understand it, and also this one here that she did an interview on Nationwide. And I want to ask my students on the platform here, you think I should play them over? Because I believe you should play over, for us to understand what Dion Jackson Miller said, to understand the course of this country. Because listen to what she's saying. The DPP saying on the news station there, and what Dion Jackson Miller just said. Listen to what Dion Jackson Miller said, please. Then we're going to go back to the DPP. Listen to this.
How is it that there is this court battle over whether the DPP Paula Llewellyn should stay in office? Gonna break it down for you, so stay tuned.
Hold on for me.
Thank you so much for joining me courtside once again. I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Now, let's just start out by saying that the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, that's the DPP, is a really powerful office. The roles, the functions, they're set out in the Constitution. And what the Constitution says is that in doing his or her job, the DPP isn't subject to anybody's direction or control. In other words, nobody can tell the DPP how to do his or her job. Powerful stuff. The Constitution also says the DPP is supposed to retire at the age of 60. But there can be an extension. If the Prime Minister, after consultation with the leader of the opposition, recommends to the Governor General that there should be an extension, the Governor General can allow for an extension of up to 5 years. So what happened here? Well, this is about Paula Llewellyn, the first woman to be Director of Public Prosecutions in Jamaica. And I should say that she made some very important changes to the office. An important one is that of transparency and explaining, giving reasons for what she did. So it's common, for instance, for her to make a decision in a matter and then to send out a long statement quoting law and explaining exactly why it is she did that. And she also speaks to the media a lot. So for some people, it was too much. There are some people who criticized her for this very public profile. I should tell you, I am not one of them, not just because I'm a member of the media, but also because I think transparency is important. Nowadays, people want to understand what is happening in government. And I think public servants do have a responsibility to explain to the public why they're doing what they're doing. Anyway, let's go back to the story. So, Ms. Llewellyn was due to retire in September 2020. That's when she would have reached her 60th birthday. But earlier that year, she wrote to the Public Services Commission, that's the body that appoints public servants, and asked for an extension. The Prime Minister consulted with the leader of the opposition and recommended an extension of 5 years. The leader of the opposition at that time was Dr. Peter Phillips.
All right, you hear that? Recommended an extension for 5 years. That was the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. At that time, it was opposition leader. At that time, was opposition leader Dr. Peter David Phillips. Listen keenly, people. And now those who want to say Dion Jackson Miller is a spin for government, I really don't care. I am listening to what she's saying. She's an attorney at law. Listen to this keenly.
He said no. Absolutely not. Apparently, he wasn't impressed with the kind of job that the DPP had done while in office. He also thought she spoke to the media too much, and he said all of this in some very strong language. So what ended up happening was that the Prime Minister recommended to the Governor General that her term in office be extended for 3 years. So that's what happened. She got a 3-year extension. So what that means, doing the math, is that she was now expected to retire in September 2023 when she reached the age of 63. But earlier in 2023, earlier in the year again, she wrote to the PSC again, that's the Public Service Commission, asking for another extension. The commission said no. The Constitution says you can only get one extension. And also, they said the Prime Minister had taken legal advice and had also said no. So you would think it would finish there. You would think that.
Okay. This current Prime Minister now, when she asks for extension this time around, this current Prime Minister Holness says no. So it begs to ask the question, why did Jamaica's Minister of Justice, Delroy Trupp, went to the Parliament of Jamaica? If the Prime Minister says no, why did this happen? Why did we reach here? Those are some key questions that need to be asked, and we need some answers. We need some answers. Listen to some of what Dion Jackson Miller had to say.
Paula would now be on the beach in the grill somewhere, drinking mimosas or blended fruit punch, or somewhere in her garden tending orchids or whatever it is she does. Clearly, I don't know what it is she does. That was not what happened. What happened instead was that we started to hear talk about some kind of mechanism to give her an extension. And then the government brought to Parliament an act to amend the Constitution to extend the retirement age for the Director of Public Prosecution as well as the DPP for up to 65 years, up to the age of 65. This act was brought to the House of Representatives on the 25th of July, 2023, and it was tabled, it was debated, and it was passed in one day. A couple of days later, the same thing happened in the Senate, and a few days after that, the Governor General signed the act into law. Now, this act did two things. One, it extended the retirement age of the DPP as well as the Auditor General up to 65 years, as I've mentioned. The second thing it did, though, was to say that whoever was DPP when this act came into effect, and that could only be Paula Llewellyn, could then elect, could choose to remain in office after the age of 60. So in August, Ms. Llewellyn writes to the PSC, the Public Service Commission, to say that she's electing to remain in office until the age of 65. So why does all this matter? Why were people upset about this? A couple of things. One, it's very, very unusual to see an act to amend the Constitution be treated in this way in terms of being rushed through Parliament like this.
Remember, Justice Minister,
said,
this one here, This justice minister here went to the parliament to amend the act, and he rushed it through the parliament. This one here.
Said he was just trying to get it through before the parliament went on break. However, when you're amending the constitution, normally you're going to have consultation with the opposition. You're certainly going to talk to the public. The public is going to want to know what's going on. And that really didn't happen here.
Okay. Jamaicans, I am not professing to be a lawyer, but common sense must prevail, Jamaicans. The Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, did not consultate or have any discussion with the opposition nor the people of Jamaica. He went and pushed this thing through. These are the things that we're speaking about. Listen to some more of what this lady is saying. We must speak sense out of nonsense, Jamaica. Listen to this.
Here, as I said, the bill was just brought to Parliament, rushed through in a single day, and hurriedly brought into law. Now, the issue as well in relation to that second thing that the Act did, which was to allow Ms. Llewellyn to choose to remain in office. If you're wondering why it is that nobody's talking about the role of the Auditor General in all of this, is because that's really not the issue. The Auditor General hadn't reached retirement age, so any act to extend her retirement age wasn't going to change anything in terms of what had already happened. And let me say what I mean by that. Ms. Llewellyn, on the other hand, had already reached retirement age. She had got her extension. So the concern was that what this act was doing by allowing her to decide to remain in office was going against what the Constitution intended. That's what I mean when I said there is this difference between the situation in relation to the Auditor General as well as with the DPP. The other thing is that there was actually a constitutional reform committee, not commission. There was a constitutional reform committee that was set up and that was discussing the Constitution and was going to be making recommendations for change. So the question was being asked, why not allow the committee to look at this issue and make a recommendation instead of having the committee operating and then rushing this bill through Parliament to obviously to affect what was happening with the DPP's office. So the opposition then challenged this act in court. Now, they challenged it on a number of different grounds. The court disagreed with most of them, but here's the thing with the law and with court, you only need to win 1 point. If you say, hey, I think this act is unconstitutional based on A, B, C, D, E, and the court says, I disagree with A, B, C, D, but you're right on E, you win the case. So in this case, they did win the case, even though the court disagreed with them on most of their submissions. So this is what the court said. The court said that the part of the law that simply said the retirement ages of the Auditor General and Director of Public Prosecutions is going to be extended to 65. That was fine. No problem there. That could remain. But they said the part of the law that said the current DPP could choose to stay in office after the age of 60, that part of the law was unconstitutional, null and void, and of no effect. A bunch of words that the courts use when they're saying, not Nagosa, we're throwing this out. So here's what the court said. They said that that particular part of the law gave a right to the DPP that did not exist before, and that she was going to be able to exercise this power to stay in office to the exclusion of the opposition leader. If you remember what I said earlier, the way the Constitution says that it should work is that the Prime Minister, after consultation with the leader of the opposition, would then recommend to the Governor General this extension, and the Governor General could then allow the extension. The way this particular part of the act was set up, it looked as if the leader of the opposition had been cut out of the equation entirely. And the court said that what was happening, according to the new act, was not the way the framers of the Constitution had intended the process to work. So a number of interesting things happened after that because it's Jamaica, so story not done. Now, the government said they disagreed with the ruling and they intended to appeal. Okay, fine. But then they also said that the DPP was going to remain in office. And at this point, everybody was like, whoa, hold on, because I have to say to you, most of the lawyers I have spoken with, and I also believe this, I said this publicly on radio, that the ruling of the court striking out the part of the law that said Ms. Llewellyn could choose to stay in office, that what that meant was that after September 2023, when she reached her 63rd birthday, she was no longer DPP.
You hear that? When she reached her 63rd birthday, she's 63. She was no longer the Director of Public Prosecution for Jamaica. That is why I love to listen and pick sense out of nonsense, you know. And what Dion Jackson Miller has just said on her YouTube channel is I searching through everything, you know. And I found what Dion Jackson Miller said. I said, no, man. I hope Miss Jackson Miller don't be offended that I'm using her thing here. But we need to listen and open up our eyes and hear what is being said. And it begs to ask the question of all that was said and all that was done. The lawmakers of this country, the government side, really stepping on the constitutionality of the Jamaican people, the constitution of the Jamaican people. In other words, they're saying to hell with the Constitutional Court. We're going to appeal this one. And it begs to ask the question, Jamaicans, why Delroy Chuck and the administration of Andrew Holness want this Director of Public Prosecutions to stay on? And you realize you hear nothing from the PM about this? Only thing the PM love to do is come out and talk about people on social media, you know. He says nothing. Not a word. Not a word about this. Nothing he said about this. And we sit down in this country and allow these people to continue infringing on the fundamental rights of the Jamaican people. Listen to some more of what Mrs. Jackson Miller had to say.
So JAMBAR, the Jamaican Bar Association, for instance, said, look, you can disagree with the ruling if you want, but the effect of the ruling is that Ms. Llewellyn is no longer DPP. And we started to see some things happen. This was on the same Friday, you know, the same Friday that the ruling was handed down. We heard the St. Anne Circuit Court basically said they can't go any further with the prosecutors in front of them because we don't have any DPP. So they were the case that was in progress. They said that couldn't go ahead, and the matters were essentially adjourned till Monday. We started to hear concerns about what would happen on Monday, started to hear concerns as to whether or not prosecutors would be able to present in courts all across Jamaica or would choose to present in courts all over Jamaica. Anyway, as them say, trouble set up like rain or trouble not set like rain. On the Sunday, now the government announced the appointment of an acting DPP. So there is a DPP in place now who is not Paula Llewellyn. But here is the question. What is Miss Llewellyn's status? Remember what I said to you, right? Most of the lawyers are saying that I have spoken to, let me hasten to say that, as well as the very well-respected Jamaican Bar Association. All these people are saying that Miss Llewellyn is no longer DPP.
So hold on here now. If what Miss Jackson Miller is saying, that the Jamaica Bar Association is saying that Paula is no longer Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecution. They don't recognize her at all. Then what is? Hey, Lord have his mercy, dear God. What is going on here? Listen to some more of what Miss Jackson had to say, because what I was going to say, but I hold it back because we're having some reports that is yet to be confirmed. Hold on, listen to this.
Based on the Supreme Court ruling. Remember, this doesn't have anything to do with whether you agree with them or not, but the court has ruled, and the court says, according to our interpretation, Ms. Llewellyn is no longer DPP. And when the government says they've appointed an acting DPP, and the way they said it was this, that Ms. Llewellyn has advised that at this time, she can't do her job. She can't perform the functions of her office. So what that suggests is that Ms. Llewellyn is still in the picture, but on leave while we have this acting.
You hear that though? You hear that though? Paula send a letter to the government of Jamaica stating that I cannot continue as Director of Public Prosecution. They gave her leave. In other words, she can't kill him. She can't leave. They appoint an acting Director of Public Prosecution. Hey, Paula coming back, you know. What don't like it, yes or no? Paula coming back. Let's just show you the level of skullduggery and level of corruption in this country. Paula coming back. Mark my word. Mark my word. I'm going to open the phone lines, but before I do so, let us finish what Dion Jackson Miller had to say. Mrs. Dion Jackson Miller had to say, attorney at law and well-known journalist. And we're going to go over to what Paula said on a very famous radio station. Listen to Jesus, have mercy, God. Father, I stretch my hand to thee, O Lord. If thou should withdraw thy hand from Jamaica, my God, what will happen to this country? Listen to what Lady Dion Jackson had to say, her final on this thing here.
In DPP. And again, people are saying, we're not sure about that. We saw the lawyers for the opposition write to the PSC to say, give us some clarity on that. In addition, JAMBAR, the Jamaican Bar Association, also wrote to the PSC and said, give us some clarity on this. The last time I spoke to JAMBAR some weeks ago, they told me they hadn't got a response yet. We don't know if that has changed. So here we are. The matter is now before the Jamaican Court of Appeal. The hearing is going to be held. Arguments are going to be made by the lawyers on both sides. And interestingly, the court has granted the DPP, well, Ms. Llewellyn, former DPP, incumbent DPP, how do we describe her at this point? But the court has allowed her to be involved in the matter as well. So she will have a lawyer in court as well.
The question I want to ask this morning, may not stop this part with Dion Jackson Miller and play the other part. But before I play the other interview that she had on Nationwide News, how can a system, hey, Jesus, a system that allow the DPP to use tainted jurors, the same system is trying a case against her? No, somebody tell me something. My brain, me not really have so much thing for my brain, you know. The same system, justice system, that the Director of Public Prosecution, Jamaica's chief prosecutor, allowed tainted jurors to proceed in a case that infringe on the fundamental right of a Jamaican citizen, is the same system that they're having submissions with Paula in this morning in the Court of Appeal in downtown Kingston, then do you think that the Jamaican people get a fair trial in this? Do you think the Jamaican people will come out victoriously in this? Something not adding up here. I want you to listen. Now we're going to take the phone calls, but you have to listen to this one here.
Paula Llewellyn's shocking comments on Vibes Cartel Privy Council appeal.
Heat from the Vibes Cartel Privy Council ruling continue. And this morning, for the first time, the DPP was responding since the judgment came down last Thursday morning. And she was asked by Tona and Ricardo about the advice she gave to the judge in the trial after it was revealed that there was an attempt to bribe the jurors.
DPP, having been told that all of your jurors in 2014 had been offered a $500,000 bribe, why did you not advise the judge that it was probably best to dismiss the jury, which was now obviously tainted?
You see, you are now trying to get me to discuss the matter, and I told you that I didn't wish to.
No, but certainly this point, DPP, is important, because here the law lords are saying you advised the judge that you were prepared to proceed even though you knew that the entire panel, 11 jurors, the forewoman told you, had been offered bribes. Wouldn't that mean in your judgment, DPP, that the entire jury, as the law lords have now found, was contaminated and should have been terminated or discharged?
Well, first of all, I am not the judge.
True, but you gave advice that you were prepared to proceed, and what I'm trying to understand.
We were prepared to proceed.
But why were you prepared to proceed with a jury that was contaminated?
No. All the other factors, that some of which I cannot go into in terms of.
So you were thinking about cost. You were thinking about how long the matter had been going.
We were also thinking of security issues. There were a lot of other issues that we cannot go into the public domain, and what our information from the foreman was, what she was saying, was that all of the attempts had to do with acquittal. Clearly, if it had been the other way, we would have, clearly, given the overriding objective of any case, which is fairness to the accused. But what would have been perhaps planted in the mind of the jurors is, okay, you need to acquit. And remember that these persons, at least two of them, are very famous. So it would have been, as far as the prosecution, when we discussed it, we would have been those ones at a great disadvantage. This is not the first time.
But with the greatest respect, DPP, that's not persuasive, because what I want you to focus on is the fact that the process now had been corrupted and contaminated, and you advised the judge that you were comfortable proceeding with a contaminated and corrupt process.
This is not the first time that I have had to deal with jury tampering.
And be that as it may, in the exercise of your judgment, why did you not see it fit to bring to an end a matter that had been corrupted?
After 64 days of trial?
Isn't the interest of protecting the impartial trial greater than the length of time that had elapsed?
I agree with you on paper, but I have done other cases where there has been jury tampering to the great negative of the prosecution. I have seen cases, I've seen jury inquiries where the juror, having been questioned, it was quite clear that it was either an accused person or an accused person's relative that approached the juror. And the juror was able to indicate to the court that it did not make any difference. He would still be able to have an impartial situation in his mind. I have had the experience. I've prosecuted many cases. And when asked, I have indicated that we don't have any problem. So in other words, we are prepared to take our chances and just try to make sure that you have a very powerful address. But this, what happened in a couple of the cases I've dealt with, didn't happen during summation. It happened before we got to summation. So I have had the experience before of jury tampering. And I have been asked before, what is my view, being the prosecutor in the matter? And even after the inquiry, it's a judgment. It's quite clear that you don't know if the juror is telling you everything about the encounter with the relative of the accused, but you are willing to take the chance nonetheless. So it has happened. I mean, both myself and Mr. Taylor, who was the prosecutor, we didn't drop from the sky. It's not the first case that we are both having to deal with. And in our experience, we have had to deal with cases where you have issues arising.
With the benefit of hindsight, do you regret the submissions you made?
You are not going to get me there. You are not going to get me.
Well, quite an interesting 5 minutes of exchanges there. And the takeaway for me is the DPP seems to be relying on the fact that in her long prosecutorial career, she has made a judgment call, several judgment calls, in a number of instances of jury tampering. And I wonder, does that make it legally correct? It might be a call that has been...
That's a good question. Does it make it legally correct? We're going to take your phone calls. 954-529-8030. Your take on what attorney at law, journalist Dion Jackson Miller just said on her YouTube channel. I will play it for you. And your take on it. Do you believe that the court will rule in the favor of the Jamaican people and saying that Miss Paula should go home and sit down? Or is the court going to rule in the favor of Paula to remain as Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecution? I want to take your views on it. Remember, we're broadcasting live on Sugar Wayne Rockers Radio over there in Kingston City, Jamaica. The numbers are 954-529-8030. It is also a WhatsApp number. So those who are listening on the radio station over there, it's also a WhatsApp number. 954-529-8030. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tavares.
Turn off your TV in the background for me, please, sir.
No, I don't know what TV is off, sir. Yes, sir. The question is, the court going in favor of the government. I send you a report in the Gleaner. If you read it, and you see what took place under the Minister of Health, that's one ministry.
The Minister of who?
Under the Minister of Health.
Yes, we're
I send you documents.
We're speaking
Yes.
about Miss Paula.
I am the person. Yes, I'm telling you the reason why Miss Paula going to go back as a DPP.
Okay.
Based on that document, no way the government.
What document are you talking about?
I sent you a document on the Minister of Health this morning.
What did it say?
And to show you all the money spent and what can give account for. Every contract, 50%, and of most of the contract.
So hold on there now. I'm trying to figure out something here. The money that is being spent at the Ministry of Health, what does it have to do with the DPP? I don't understand.
So, you're going to tell me, based on that report, the DPP going to sit down and not take action? If it's a DPP, put yourself in that DPP position and 700 billion taxpayer money can get come for.
Sir. Your views I am talking about, is the DPP gonna come out victoriously, or is it the
And I tell you the reason, and I give you the reason.
But
I'm going to give you the yes.
You're talking about the whole thing with the because I'm trying to understand. Maybe I don't. I'm trying to understand.
I can explain to you. I'm going to explain to you. What is the main reason, your opinion, why the government fight for the DPP to reinstate as it back as DPP?
I don't know why, sir.
Okay. So you watch the news and what was taking place in the news in the paper and the government paper, the amount of corruption, $1.3 trillion.
Yes.
They must be some accountable for those money. No.
I don't know it, sir.
Right?
Anyway, I have to take another call. Thank you for call. Well, go ahead.
Well, all those money and all those auditor report, when the DPP come back into office, all those things went through one side. There's no, right? And that's the main reason. That's the main reason why you want her to come back.
All right. Okay, sir. Thanks for calling in.
Right. Okay, sir.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mequitar program.
Yeah, Jeffrey, good afternoon.
Whenever you're gonna call the station, please, or the studio, please turn off your phones in the background. It's giving us a feedback here in the studio. Go ahead for me, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. My take on Miss Paula Llewellyn remaining in her tenureship.
Yes.
I think she's going to be the DPP, and I believe she has good reasons to defend her position.
Why?
The Governor General signed into law, Jeffrey, that is legal for her to stay in the tenureship until age 65.
The Governor General is in the Constitution, sir.
Repeat what you said, Jeffrey?
The Governor General is not the Constitution.
Nevertheless, the Constitution can be amended by the Parliament, and he's the one to ratify it, isn't he? Is it that so?
The Governor General is not the Constitution of the land, sir. Hold on for me.
Nevertheless, Jeffrey.
Hold on for me, please, sir. And the Constitutional Court rules that she cannot continue as Director of Public Prosecution. No.
Who ratifies the Constitution?
Chuck, sir, hold on for a minute, sir. Delroy Chuck decided to appeal it along with the Attorney General of Jamaica. If the Constitutional Court rules that it's time for her to go and sit down, the Governor General of Jamaica cannot override.
No, there's an appeal. There's an appeal. Isn't there an appeal? There's an appeal.
Yes, there's an appeal now.
Yes. So if the appeal court says she has the right to retain her position, or what can the Constitution court?
No. It did not say that, sir.
No, I'm saying if the appeal court decides that she can retain her position, what can the Constitutional Court do about it?
But the fact
isn't the appeal court?
The fact of the matter, sir, if the Constitutional Court rules that she should go and sit down, and they're taking taxpayers' money now to go and appeal it. Obviously, they do not respect the Constitution of Jamaica.
Listen, the Constitution has been debated and has been reformed and has been ratified and has been accepted on many occasions. On many occasions. So what are you trying to explain? Explain. What are you trying to explain? The appeal court isn't the appeal court the last decision after this hearing?
You tell me because I obviously know the law more than I do.
So I don't need, I'm not a lawyer, I'm just listening to what Dion said. And what Dion says is that a bill was forwarded to the Parliament and the opposition wasn't invited, yet the Governor General sees fit to ratify it. Isn't that so? To make the tenureship.
Did she say the Governor General to ratify it? Did she say that?
Didn't she, of course. Didn't she say the Governor General ratify what was proposed to him to extend her tenureship to 65 years? I must be misinterpreting what Dion said, because that's what I heard. Isn't that what you hear yourself?
You heard what you heard, sir. I hear what I hear.
Didn't the Governor General ratify the age of 65 for the DPP?
You said you heard that, sir. So if you say you heard that, I can't say nothing.
All right, boss. Well, that's what I hear.
Okay.
I listen to. I think both parties benefit from Paula's tenureship. Both. Both. I won't go into details, but both parties benefit from Paula's tenureship.
Why you say that?
And I won't go into detail, but
all right, come on, man. Talk to me.
Listen. The lady has mastered the social, political, and cultural dynamics of the country.
Indeed.
She has maintained that equilibrium between the governed and the governed subjects for years. So, and if she loves her job, and to see a loophole there to extend her tenureship, why don't exploit it? I would have done the same thing.
You know, I was just told by my producers that she did say that some ratification went on. Go ahead,
Jeffrey. I'm here on your program to learn too. You know.
Yes.
I'm not gonna use knowledge. I'm not like that. I'm here to learn too. I'm a dunce to a lot of things. So I'd rather sit back and learn. Right? But I think the lady has maintained that equilibrium. And
do you believe that they held bend in bringing her back as Director of Public Prosecution? Do you believe that they have something to hide from the Jamaican people, sir?
Listen, they don't have anything to hide from the Jamaican people. What they have been doing is exposed for everybody to see.
Oh.
They're not hiding anything. It's for the Jamaican people to get up off their laurel and advocate for changes to protect their kind.
But wouldn't you think, based on what she said, what she uttered out of her mouth on a well-known radio station in Jamaica
about taking
hold on for a minute, my friend. Hold on.
All right, I'm listening. Sorry about that.
Don't you think that based on what she said on nationwide news, she came back from London about tainted jurors, don't you think that the court, Jamaica's highest court of the land, is not the Parliament of Jamaica, is the Supreme Court, then second by the Court of Appeal, but I would say the Constitutional Court. But anyway, don't you think that they would have said, you know what, you have made some utterance in the public domain about tainted jurors, that you have used tainted jurors before? People with common sense would say, you know what, you have said something like that, so I don't think we should allow you to remain. And don't you think that maybe they should have looked into all the cases that she had presided over and said, no, something went on here or something, that everything was okay or not?
No, context matters. But listen, she said the court has operated with tainted jury before. You don't know if the tainted jury were discovered after the case has been concluded. So context matters. She might have discovered that the jury was contaminated after the trial, and not before.
So that means the Constitution of Jamaica doesn't mean a damn thing then?
No, it's unfair to come up with such a hasty conclusion, Jeffrey, because you might be in a trial and the jurors were compromised and it's not to your knowledge. And long after the trial, people start to utter case. Look, for example,
hold on there. The fact of the matter is, she was aware of a tainted juror in a very well-known case in this country, and she and the judge are allowed to go on.
You remember she explicitly outlined that after 64 sittings,
it has nothing to do with 64 It has nothing to do with 64 sittings.
You don't think it's in the interest of the accused to get the trial concluded expeditiously?
Then, sir, in which other modern democracy you're going to have tainted jurors and a well-known case, and you allow the case to continue?
Do you
believe that if it was the Attorney General of the United States did something like that, you think he'll remain as Attorney General of the United States?
It's unfortunate for us to be using the United States as a yardstick.
Okay, forget about the United States. Do you believe if this happened in Barbados, the person remain as Attorney General or Director of Public Prosecution?
The cultural dynamics of Barbados is different from us. No, well, I don't know. Honestly, I can't come to a conclusion on that, but I don't. I only live in Barbados for about 16 months. I don't know what this cultural fabric that the justice system is. They might be even worse than us.
In other words, what you're saying, that it was okay for her to use tainted jurors then?
Remember, she discovered tainted jurors
because of 64 days of submissions.
Well, I believe she has good reasons to defend her position.
You're chatting nonsense.
Your opinion, Jeffrey. Your opinion.
And if I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. What I'm saying to you,
but listen, I'm not so thin-skinned, Jeffrey. That's your opinion, and you have a right to express it.
What I am saying, sir, if Jamaica's chief prosecutor, the Director of Public Prosecution, come and tell the nation and the entire world that she has dealt with tainted jurors before. Do you know how other countries look at Jamaica?
Jeffrey,
as one of the most corrupt country in the Caribbean.
Jeffrey, a lot of first world countries use tainted jurors too in their cases, but discover that the jurors were tainted after the fact. And you can't do double jeopardy.
No, but the fact of the matter is, what I'm trying to say to you, the Director of Public Prosecution admitted to the nation of Jamaica that during a certain case in this country, she has
that's an unfortunate utterance. That's unfortunate utterance. But
she admitted what she did.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But Jeffrey, a lot of cases go through the system very quick, and a lot of cases are.
What you're saying to me, that you agree in what she did?
To use tainted jury?
Yes. And allow the case to continue?
Well, Jeffrey,
yes or no?
Everything is in God's hand. She used tainted jury, and that might be in the favor of the person being prosecuted, because the case has gone to the Privy Council.
Okay, let me ask you this question then. You believe that if she had stopped the case from continue, you believe that we'll be right here now with this Vive Cartel saga?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't believe so.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for calling in.
Jeffrey, it's a pleasure all the time. All right.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Make It Talk program.
Good afternoon, Mr. Tavares.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard gaslighting on your show just now. Gaslighting.
Why?
Because somebody is trying to convince us that the jurors were tainted after the fact. It's not true. The poor person went to the lawyers, spoke to them that somebody was trying to bribe them with $500,000 or something like that. On the radio show, the woman, the DPP, said that the judge called her. She was summoned. And when she went to the judge's office, she was told about the bribe, and she instructed the judge to continue with the case.
But not only that, caller. The case that we're speaking about, the lawyer for that case, a well-known King's Counsel attorney at law, end up saying to the judge, I don't think that this should continue. And the judge allow the case to continue. So the Director of Public Prosecution and the Honorable Judge Is that fault to what to why this country is where this country is now with this case? With
It is. But when people come in on a public show to gaslight other people as if we didn't listen and this is what they in Jamaica do to people, try to spin things and put it to suit their need, and tell you, oh, because they think all of us are dunce and we cannot understand proper English. No. I listened to every moment of one of those interviews, and she said she was summoned to the judge's office. And when she went and the judge told her what happened, she told the judge she wants the case to continue. And the statement on the radio station the TV station went on to a point where she said, listen, this is not the first time I've had to deal. I don't forget things. And
you're so correct. I was looking at, oh Lord, the person hung up. Miss P, you can call back Miss P. The fact of the matter is, ma'am, she said it on national radio.
Right. And they forgot.
It went all over the globe.
Yes, this is what is bugging all of them. Yes. They talk and they think it is in the 1950s and 60s where people didn't have record, and people in the 60s, they have recordings, because if you go into some archives, you can see what this president said 10 years ago before some of us were born.
Tell you thanks for calling. Never next call coming in, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling in.
That's okay, Mr. Tavares, but I don't like people coming to gaslight other people.
I know. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mercator program. Miss P, you're live. Go ahead. You're live on Rockers Radio too.
Yeah. Good afternoon, Jeffrey.
How you doing?
Yes. Raina come here, let me win. Yeah. Morning.
Morning.
We just join it. But you little piece of your man there will me get. Listen, why we people don't like to call a spade a spade? Why they don't like call a spade a spade? The DPP, it's easy enough. The DPP have done our time. Move on. What happened to the other persons them right there who inspired to be there? From we have Center Grow, have you ever seen a next DPP try to hold answer? What is it in the DPP office? Does she make her burial spot in there? It seems like she gotta make her sepulchre there. Me tell you, it's heartening, it burns some. To see how this lady and Mr. Holness, if you look, to see how the tears them are drop on you, so to react on you know, sir. That for sure you say you go up in an Adventist, thou shalt not tell lie. All the way the mingle pants what you do, it doesn't come in your face. And now you have this woman, why is she up to stay? Because I said the first DPP as female. No, you do your time. I wish all people were 60. Now I got go rest. People when they have so much money, I want to retire and they still have what she have. Because they're tired, they want to relax. And you have so much money, so much fame. What you not going to yard? And make the country run good as if generation them will come. Can't come inherit a good Jamaica. Brother, if we tap him man, and we are calling, the other man we are calling, he's like, yeah, get something on his side. So your part is sell out too.
Hold on, Miss P.
Yeah, sell out.
Hold on, Miss P, man. I wouldn't say that, I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion, And I agree, I don't agree with some of the things that he's saying, but let us be fair. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, all right? What do you think?
Yeah, but listen now. You remember this station and everywhere you go, you have younger people listening. So you must talk sense as an adult that the younger people can gravitate to do the right thing. That is it. Why are you talking stupidness about after the fact? The lady come and talk out her own mouth, not my word. So she have done a lot of cases already. Not my restaurant to teach her in. Out of one mouth. She talk it. So why you go like that? She talk. I don't know nobody say. So she say actually talk out of her mouth.
Yes.
And where the Constitution it is wrong. It is contrary. It is wrong. And you can't call wrong right. Wrong or wrong.
But Miss P, what I don't understand though, Miss P, in any other modern democracy, your constitution court has ruled. You accept the ruling and move on.
Simple.
The question asks Delroy Truck, why is it that he's hell-bent in having this woman as Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecution?
And let me tell you my opinion. And let me tell you and tell the whole entire world and nation. Delroy Truck and the rest of them have some dirty clothes when they don't want to come up in a public place. So she's the one who fi cover down the dirty clothes them. And it a go come out because God no dead. The tears of the mother, the tears of the picnic them, the deadness picnic them tears the power no. You think it's easy for a woman will give birth and when that 2-3 seconds left. I feel the baby if you come out, any woman will give a natural birth can tell her I have to spin the part. I just see my ring up, and I go down. When you see baby say me ready, I have 3-5 seconds left, him push out. I have to spin that. And as you come out, you quail. And when you kill our people pick me, sentence them to prison. And when a mother look on his son, in that way, him belly cut him. Then you know what we then do. So when the PMP take over, then we said everything now got up. And as we talk again, Mr. Constable Irons, let's say his name, that them sacrifice. In mother tongue actually be that. He's not the dead when dead, because we all come out of the dead, but he's only dead. We could have avoided because of state hypocrisy and other things them have. All of the building them and the this and the that and the encroachment and the this and the that and the 700 billion and everything I come out from them. And you always just spit in the sky, fall in the face. The people them over Clifton, where you make it pity them actually sleep at door that night there. Now go down, so brother. So you could have tried to not try.
You know something.
But they could have tried to kill and try.
You know something? I would love to see one of these days I'm on this program here and my phone ring and I hear the person say, Mr. Tavares, or whatever you want to call me. This is Prime Minister Michael Andrew Holness. I would love to see that.
That will never happen. Because you know why? It never happen. Because you're not a hypocrite. And you will call a spade a spade. Because it is a chicken back where your wife cook. And left on the table and you and your wife provide it. He might go up on the station where he can get the bed spread for him. That never happen. And if you look, and if Jamaican people look out of their eye, those of you who vote Labour right and all Jamaican, the Prime Minister is not happy because the same social media where Eli Clark come in a parliament can say 85% and we can attest to the election of this one, that one, Tarana, and the same social media turn around upon them now and him going to say, him going to try if he's silent social media. When it didn't work in a film theater, he never silent it. And all who me watch and follow is not them word. Them play the clip where him say, all the Jamaican people, well-thinking Jamaican, must raise up and hold the government accountable.
Yes.
Right? For not doing their work. Or take out the one and put the one where do their work.
Yes, Miss P.
And now the people have won them, yeah?
Call me back in a couple minutes. Gonna take a next call. Call me back in a couple minutes. Can you please?
Yes, I will. I'm at work.
Please
Yeah.
call me back. I beg you.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Good afternoon, Cayman Islands. How are you doing?
Yeah, Mr. Jeffrey. Yes, as a really just say a while ago, you see him the commander we talked a while ago, he was gaslighting foolishness at the end of the day. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to ask him says, suppose I did him in the same position, we have like somebody say, unfortunately, because some people only talk when they're not really them in the position. You get me, I say? Because the only reason why eventually Angela might fight to keep Paula win is to keep the Jamaican people under bondage. Because look how much case Paula Llewellyn really run white collar. You run Fitzbailey case, I don't know if it's Bailey, Patrick Bailey case yet. You run Rory case yet. You run Andrew himself case yet. He only just run for regular people. Any regular people don't want to go and then blind. Because this is a height of corruption. The reason because guess what? These prime minister have no respect at all for law. None at all. So nobody can talk about no law. And then they see that woman, they not file my concern, nobody is supposed to obey no law, and there is no law. The only law when it come on to you, because if the law not work, everybody did, and it not make sense to work. Foolishness. Either work or it not work. So man, we talk a while ago, asking yourself in the same position. And somebody say, unfortunately, we didn't like it. Just think about people like yourself. What kind of stupid business that you talk about? Mr. Jeffrey, bless you.
Thanks much. Good afternoon, Jamaica. Welcome to the Make We Talk program.
No, this is not Jamaica. Actually, it's a Jamaican number. But Sir Jeffrey, there's something that I want to say. There's something I want to say. You guys have the patience of Job, to be honest with you. You guys that are trying to make this kind of changes that we are seeing in front of our faces. You know, I always say that now, we do not have any journalists in Jamaica anymore, investigative journalists. We have reporters. You see, and some of the things that is happening to us blatantly. The only time a man will come out and talk, unless it come knocking at your door. The person that we have in Jamaica right now, this kind of generation, they have no standing in terms of to stand up and advocate for what they believe in. Because even last night when the Prime Minister talked about the social media and now the DPP, how can someone, I want them to go to bed and sleep and say where the court has ruled something that is unconstitutional and you is going to an appeal court to overturn something? So what that is for the ordinary Jamaicans. Do these persons honestly, do these persons having a civic pride like all the DPP? She having a civic pride? They don't listen to the people cry. I want to let them live in a little utopia bubble that they believe that okay then, because apparently it seems like they're living at
Oh Lord. What's going on here? Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. I know what happened to him a while ago. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jeffrey. How are you?
I am doing good, New Mexico.
All right, sir. So, sometimes I wonder if those people who call your show, if they really think it's idiots listen to your show.
Well,
I'm not saying we don't have some idiots who listen, but the people who should be voicing their opinion should not be trying to have people to believe the same stupidness that they believe. There's a gentleman that spoke with you a few minutes ago, trying to rationalize things, and talking about Paula Llewellyn found out about tainted jewelry after the fact. That's a lie, and he knows it's a lie.
I think what he was trying to say, suppose she find out about the tainted jewelry after the fact, but the fact of the matter is, I'm trying to say to him, she admitted that she found it out, she knew about the tainted jewelry all along, and she allowed the case to proceed. If she did not allow the case to proceed, maybe we would never be in the predicament that we're in.
But then I heard you gave a few examples and he's going all over the world and he doesn't know answer because he's trying to stifle his conscience. And people like those are not people who are good for this country because they don't learn to call a spade a spade. You must be honest. And it doesn't matter if you wear colors
Because some of us really wear green or orange. We do. Because that's what it is. But when the facts are in your face, you must be able to speak the truth. And that is what I don't understand with some people.
So correct, my friend.
That's just what I want to say, and just to wish you all the best for today's fair. And I'm going back to listen. Yeah. Take care of yourself.
Thank you.
Good. Bye-bye. Bye.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mekwita program.
Yes, sir, Jeffrey. Sorry about that, sir. Yeah. Actually, there was a call that was coming in. That's the reason why.
Go ahead.
So the thing is that no. I wonder if they really sit down and look into themselves as an introspection and say to themselves, this is not what I've sworn for. I am going against. When someone's principle is being changed consistently, have they look into themselves and say to myself, no, man, this is not the way we were brought up. This is not how our foreparents teaches us. Is it that they are so consumed by power that by any means necessary? There has to be an ulterior motive why the government is fighting for this person. There has to be an ulterior motive why this person is fighting for such position. And there has to be an ulterior motive why they want to stay in a certain kind of power. But overall, it's like a divide and rule situation. I still, and the Jamaican people, and these are the things, politics. I wonder if the day going to come that they're going to put aside politics and look and say what's the. I'm going to tell you something. A lot of Jamaicans right now, if you ask them, do you think that Jamaica is going the road of 80? You know what they will tell you? No. Because they don't believe. But based on what we say, I'm going to tell you something now. We say a sore foot doesn't become the force a sore foot same time. It is a cut and it first and don't take care of. So they believe that Jamaica cannot become 80. It's a shock to them. Because they exactly because the crime we more than likely have more. I think the last time we check we have more crime than them, and the stipulation that they have. But what I'm trying to say, no, where it concerns the rule of law and the government like a Papa Doc situation, this is where Jamaica, a dictatorial society now, it's going on, and people don't see the big picture now. So they're masking and say what fake news and all of this. This is just semantics. This is just semantics because subliminally you want to cut off the social media. He's the same person in 2016 voted for social media and all of these things now and say yes. And Keisha Mack and all these people.
What happened? He doesn't suit him. That's why he's talking about now. Thank you for calling in.
Exactly. Yeah.
The number to call is 954-529-8030. We're broadcasting live on Sugar Wayne Rockers Radio in the land of wood and water. For those in Jamaica, you can call WhatsApp 954-529-8030. WhatsApp number 954-529-8030. It is also, you can also call straight if you have to, but you can call on WhatsApp 954-529-8030. That's the numbers to call into the program. And remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And for us to be in an air here, you know, with chat, you know, must can asking you all to give a little donation towards the Mekwita program by zelling something to the Mekwita program. As the Zell there, you can Zell something to the Mekwita program if you wishes to do so. I'm not gonna compel you to do so, but if I'm doing a great job, please Zell something to the Mekwita program substantial enough to keep this program going. The numbers to call into the program is 954-529-8030. That's the numbers to call into the program. Somebody was calling a while ago and they didn't get you. Let me see if I can call them back from out of, I think it's out of Jamaica. Yes, this is the number. I'm going to call back a person. Let's hope the person answered their phone. They were calling all along. Call when they were calling. Now that they're answering. They're not answering. Yes. Based on what we see going on in this country. I'm trying to open a Cash App account. Yes, that's true. I need to do that. But can't you download Zelle and send it to the Zelle same way too? Please. The numbers to call is 954-529-8030. And our Zelle is, this is our Zelle. You can also Zelle us something to keep the program going on air. Zelle us something, please. Yes, the numbers to call is 954-529-8030. I was calling somebody else who had been calling earlier on. Boy, what is going on in our country is really something that we need to sit down and ask, when will all of this stop? I want to play a video. I had on my program when we found out about the DPP and the Minister of Justice went into the Parliament. And I had on my program Wilfred Radigan was speaking to me. I want you all to listen to this. That is why we need to ask the question over again. And I think Delroy Chuck needs to answer to the people of Jamaica. Why are you hell-bent in making sure that this woman remain as Director of Public Prosecution for Jamaica? Is it that she has something, some secret hiding for the anti-homeless administration?
Or she's the secret guard where she can guard against certain things. Like, for example, don't forget now the DPP can dismiss cases before a decision is made, except cases with in the military cases. She can dismiss criminal cases. She can start them, she can end them, and she can take them over. So, for example, if the corruption prosecutor say, "Hey, I recommend that the Prime Minister should be prosecuted," the DPP can step in and say, "No, you're not going to prosecute him," and that's the end of it. So we just keep in mind that he's a.
You hear that? Caller, welcome to the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I am here looking and living like Monty Perkins, sir.
Well, he's gone to a different place.
Well, that's
hopefully.
True.
I have been listening to your program for a while, but I want to say in some cases you are fair and balanced, and probably some case sometimes you seems to be biased. But putting that aside, what are the three stages of court in Jamaica?
Repeat what you said, sir.
What are the three stages of court in Jamaica?
You have the Grand Court, the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court, and the Constitutional Court, if my memory serves me correctly, yes.
Yeah, the reason I asked that question is that with the case with Paula Llewellyn or whatever it is, whoever she, is it fair to say, okay, if you feel that you don't get justice in the first court, you can move it to the second court and go right up to the Supreme Court?
Yes, you can, but if I believe if the Constitutional Court rules on something, I believe that lawmakers should have abide to the ruling of the Constitutional Court. That's my belief. But obviously they think something different.
Well, you say it's your belief, but is there another court above the Constitutional Court?
The Court of Appeal.
Yes, so I want to believe that when I was listening to your comment with regards to Paula Llewellyn, what I read about is that the Prime Minister was not in agreement for her final extension, but you I don't know if you deliberately omitted that, but I think it was fear.
What you said, sir?
I said, when I listen to you, what I read in Jamaica is that the Prime Minister was not in agreement for her last extension.
He was not. That's true. He was not.
But you omitted it, and then
I did what?
Omitted to say that.
No, I did say it.
Well, I didn't hear.
I did say
because
it, and in the video with Dion Jackson Miller, Miss Miller did say it, and I end up repeating what Miss Miller said. The Prime Minister was not in agreement with it. The Prime Minister said no.
Because it is a dangerous it is a dangerous thing when whoever is prime minister in Jamaica, whether it is Mr. Golden or Holness, for them to be interfering in the court, because the court is an independent branch of government.
You would think so?
Well, you don't think so?
I beg your pardon?
You don't think so?
Do you believe it is?
Of course I believe that.
You believe that the court in Jamaica doesn't have no political influence?
I respect your opinion, but I don't. If the court in Jamaica has political influence, then the court in the United States do have that too.
No, sir, you cannot. And somebody just remind me about it a while ago. Jamaica's jurisprudence is different from America's jurisprudence, sir. It's different. If America
Tavares,
hold on for me, sir. If America has politics in their justice system, America has so much million people. We only have 3 million.
It doesn't matter. That's where you live, and you have to abide by the.
That's where I do what?
That's where you live.
Oh, you know I live in the United States.
I know that.
No, I don't live in the United States.
Sir?
I don't live in
the United States. You don't live in the United States?
No, I do not.
You don't live in the United States?
No.
Okay, if you say that you don't live in the United States, well, I take that back. But I think wherever we live in Jamaica or in the world, we should be balanced in our criticism of our country.
Why? If the country is in a way it is going, the news is reporting. Okay, so what you're saying to me then, that the news organization in Jamaica is not balancing in their criticism?
Well, the press is free in Jamaica, so they are supposed to say anything they want to say. As a matter of fact, it's not everything that comes out in the press is accurate.
Oh, so you don't believe that. Hold on, what are you saying? My mic is low. You don't believe that hold on there. You don't believe that $1.7 trillion is accountable for, because the Gleaner report said the Gleaner is lying.
Say, I don't believe it.
I'm asking you the question.
Well, the Gleaner says so.
Mm-hmm. So
and it's not everything that the Gleaner says, and I don't want him to point into the Gleaner, but it's not everything the Gleaner says is correct.
Oh, so okay. Triple murders in Jamaica, and if the news organization reports that triple murders in Jamaica, we mustn't believe it either.
I'm not saying everything.
Oh.
Mr.
$700 billion of taxpayers' money is accountable for in the Ministry of Health. We mustn't believe that either.
Why are you of course.
Pardon me?
I said an individual can believe what they.
I'm not hearing one thing you're saying, sir. Your phone is getting muffled.
I said an individual can believe what they choose to believe. Are you hearing me now?
Uh-huh.
But it seems, and I probably think you're going to cut me off. It seems that.
Why would I cut you off?
No, let me finish. It seems that you want to run Jamaica from where you are, and the people elect the government.
Let me make something clear to you this afternoon. You see? You sound like you could be my father. Let me make something clear to you. I have no intention. Jeffrey Tavares, has no intention of running in the country from where I am. I have no intention of bringing on in the country from where I am. What I'm talking about is what is going on in the country. And you don't come on this program here and tell me that whenever the news come out of Jamaica, of $1.7 trillion accountable for. I mustn't believe it. Don't come and tell me on this program here that when Jamaicans cry out for water from Negril Point to Moran Point, I mustn't believe it because not go so. Don't come on this program and tell me that $700 billion of taxpayers' money is accountable for. I mustn't believe it. Don't come on this program and tell me that the Prime Minister don't. His declaration is not certified. That's a lie, not go so. Don't come on this program and tell me that how much parliamentarians is being investigated for illicit enrichment. I mustn't believe it. So what must we believe? That Jamaica is all honky-donkey, there's no problem in the country?
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Isn't it said that a person is innocent until they are proven guilty?
Oh. You know what's our problem in this country that we call Jamaica in our country?
You have not answered the question.
You know what is our problem in our country? That we believe because our party is in power, there's nothing bad about our party. But
I don't have no party.
Let me make something clear.
I don't have a party.
Let me make something clear to you and who put you up to call me and to those who are out there. I, Jeffrey Tavares, not a member of any political party. I am a born Jamaican. And no one gonna stop me from speaking out about my country and my people. I know what it's like to go to my hungry. I know what it's like to go to my bed hungry. I know what it's like to eat a hard dough bread and a tin of dirty gal for Christmas Day dinner. So you don't come on this program and tell me that I mustn't speak about what is going on in the country.
I am not telling you that.
Me that I must wait until who's proven this and who's proven that. Our justice system is stink and corrupt.
But that's what the law says, sir. That you are proven innocent. You are innocent until you are proven guilty.
Have a great day, sir.
I know you would cut me, but it's okay.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mekwita program called Chat Nonsense on my ears.
Yes, sir. Good, man. I'm here listening, but I'm at work. I'm busy, but I just want to call you to tell you, keep up the good work you're doing. I think this guy who just talking a while ago, I think he got his head up his butt too far, man. I don't understand what he's talking about, man. He just being biased. Yes, sir. But I'm at work. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Let's go. All right.
All right, my friend. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mekwita program.
Mr. Tavares, I called back again. I like your program, and when I have time in the day, Mr. Tavares, I called back again.
Turn off a radio TV, man,
I like your program. I like your program, Mr. Tavares, and when I have time, I sit down and listen.
Yes,
and I also watch you on Rattigan and the other show, well, just on Rattigan's show. But the point is, I'm going to be brief. The reason why I call back is because these people who are calling and trying to get you to conform to their way of thinking is the enablers. These are the enablers who they don't care about human life. They don't care about the poor people who live in the country. All they care about is being seen by dictators. And they are the enablers. And do not stoop as low as they are so that they can wheel you around. Stand your ground, burn the fire. And that's all I have to contribute right now. Enablers calling in, they think they're going to frighten everybody. It's not going to happen.
All right, my dear. Thanks much. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program.
Yes, Mr. Jeffrey, bless up yourself.
How are you doing, man?
Yeah, man, I'm a good man. Well, I understand you make the man come for your program and make you look weak, Mr. Jeffrey. A long time you run off the man.
No, hold on, my brother. Hold on. I learned from the great Wilmot Mutty Perkins and the great Winston Babatunde Witter. You allow them to speak, you know, but you show them the facts. But they continue talking.
Yeah, he act like another same man. Make a turn. Yeah, him never agree with it because know the right thing to do. But all of a sudden you turn around and now a fight to keep her there. And then I make you look like you're weak. And him knows so you go do that, you go play sarcastic. And behave like, come on, man. I have to make them know that them so cool, man.
Yeah, I agree with you, my friend. All right.
Do the right.
Yeah, man. Thanks much.
Blessed.
Okay, bye-bye. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mekpata program.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I'm on the hungry feet. In the himself, that's the himself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I mean, the question if you ask yourself, is the country run good or the country not run good? I think you ask yourself, can poor people have access? Can we say over Sablamar for 636? You never got Sablamar hospital and get for 636, they get access. And where you come from? All right, Mr. Jeffrey.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the Mekpata program.
Hey, good afternoon. So I got a couple of questions for you, Mr. Jeffrey. I don't know if you see the thing the other day where Prime Minister come on some public platform and say some people attack some people credibility and them are use social media and them are gonna start
I played it yesterday.
Clamp down on some things and up till now this man, hey man, really take Jamaican people for fool. Up till now this man no address in mere facts public DPP did wrong, you know. You know, address the facts.
No man.
You know, address it.
Yeah. The Prime Minister of Jamaica did not address the situation when Nestor Morgan, the former Minister of Misinformation, went on national. I'm gonna find the clipping. Went on national radio in Jamaica and called a Jamaican diplomat, a son of the soil, Ambassador Curtis Ward, a fake ambassador. The Prime Minister of Jamaica didn't come out and speak about what Nestor Morgan did. The Prime Minister of Jamaica didn't come out and speak about when Nestor Morgan rubbish, I shouldn't say rubbish, when Nestor Morgan spread propaganda against Wilfred Rattigan on a well-known chopping program in this country. The Prime Minister didn't go and came out and speak about when Keisha Mack acting as if she's Mrs. Mac from down by Montego Bay Metro. They come out and speak about that. He come out and speak about when it suits him. In 2016, he encouraged Jamaicans to take to social media. Now social media turn them back on him. Continue for me, my friend.
But in reality behind everything, you know, if only Jamaican people that open their eyes and see this, if Prime Minister only a push theme agenda, there is no way from Godland you can see a DPP for your country get caught up in a so much wrong and the government of Jamaica and stand behind the DPP. So that means say we are going to take cartel case and we are going to look on it because of that we know about. We are going to use cartel case for example. A DPP wrong with what she do and the country of Jamaica government system I say, hey, this lady is not wrong and we are going to defend this lady right until our dying day or until the last day where we the inner office. A total foolishness this, you know. A insult this to Jamaica public, you know. And me can't believe how some people are come on your show and chat one bag of nonsense like that brother there a while ago. Me don't know what make it ever hang him up, you know.
No, but I tell you something, you know. I tell you another one, you know. I learned from Wilmot Mutty Perkins, the great Mutty. That's what
General man.
I agree with you, so I should cut him off, you know. But everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to their own time. I agree with you. But the fact of the matter is, my friend, we know the truth. I don't know what is going on in the country.
Not everybody know the truth. Obviously, you listen to you watch a new video where Dion Jackson Miller put out about the case itself. Today, the case.
I just played it a while ago, my brother. I was playing it all morning.
No, man, no, not that one, man. You have a next one where she put out with the court proceedings. This morning she put it out, man, with what happened take place in a court today. If you listen to that,
hold on there. On her channel.
On her channel, yeah, man. She put out one with the court proceedings where happened this morning. I'll just pull it up. Let me look at which one.
5 hours ago.
Well, maybe other one then, and me jump on the program late. Dion Jackson Miller.
No, man, is it same one?
Is it same one? She basically a top case on.
Okay, the one that she put out once a day one Jamaica DPP.
Yes.
That's the one it's talking about?
Yes, it where the trial where she talk about a prosecutor what them say and what it defense.
I'm gonna play that, make everybody hear that then. Let me see what's going on here.
And you have some crucial point what make in others in a way she gonna say again, but again, why them have to defend this person so much? And what them are trying to cover up? What are they trying to cover up? Him and them insult Jamaica people too much. Like, oh, you go pass one constitution set up to defend Jamaican public, Jamaican people, and you are going to table a thing like that in a one day and pass that in a one day, just like that. I disrespect that, you know. And then everybody just in a green and red and then just run and then said this and then said that. And then not even a look for where people them have got through. Me remember days. I am not of a political view or side of person, but me sure say me would have voted for PNP. Whichever place me could have go vote for them, me would have voted for them because this man I do too much. Too much, brother. The government I do too much.
What you mean,
and it's so.
What you mean by doing too much? You mean too much prosperity?
Which me no prosperity. Me no prosperity. Let me give you an example of prosperity.
Sorry.
Let me give you a quick example of prosperity. Me grew up on to my father. I buy cow and I raise cow. You see me? And the man have a lot of cow. In a PMP time, he build house. Him have farmer run. And everything I got smooth. Now, take into fact that he never borrow no money to build house. You understand? And me see man start sell animal in a JLP time when that never used to have to happen. He man start sell things and grow and him now invest money in no other place, you know. Me in there also me see how a public used to react, brother. Me see say crime rate gone to one different level. Like you don't need glasses to see what of them thing. What kind of prosperity? What kind of prosperity?
My friend,
and then,
from the Cayman Islands.
All right, take care.
Thanks, man. Good afternoon. Welcome to our program, Cayman.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Tavares.
Good afternoon, sir. How can I assist you?
I'm listening to your talk show here. I'm on my lunch break. And as usual, it's always informative. But I just want to say to you, thanks for the effort you have been putting out. And for getting upset when you get upset and for being calm when you're calm. But prior to now, I have been in Jamaica. I had some, I can't find word to describe the experience I have with my mom and my dad in the hospital in Mandeville. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And a lot of people would not understand what is going on until they're in the position. So what I would say, don't wait until you're there to really stand up. And I have to move my mom to a private hospital. Unfortunately, I can afford it at the time. But there's not a hospital there for poor people, nor rich people. There's just not a hospital in Jamaica.
What do you mean there's not, hold on a minute. What do you mean that there's not a hospital there for rich people?
Because as far as I see, the only hospital I see in Jamaica is just a hospital for links. So if you know a nurse there,
hold on here now.
or a doctor.
You ever hear about the University of West Indies 28 wings?
Yeah, no, the reason I say that, we all know that from your upping class, then you are welcome everywhere. Everywhere belongs to you. But the reason why I use that point is just to say that from what I have observed, my opinion, all right? From you go to the hospital, they say, that's it for you. They're not interested. So like you go at a certain age and they say, oh, time for that to die. We're not going to waste time on he or she. They are past it.
I have worked in the medical field in the Cayman Islands before. Are you aware of a hospital down there by the name of CTMH Doctors Hospital on Walker's Road?
Yeah.
That hospital is owned by my good friend, who's like a father to me, Dr. Steve Anthony Tomlinson. I helped him build that hospital. And one thing I've learned in the medical field, you don't turn back anyone. Doesn't matter who they are, what age they are.
Yes, and one thing I have learned in the world is that you don't turn back nobody. Whether you know the person or you don't. We are our brother's keeper at all times, at all stage. And I mean, there's just so much to say about that. But just to highlight the point that comments that the Prime Minister have made since lately, his latest comments.
About social media?
Yeah, I have looked into it. And you know what I really detect from it is that the set of people that is too busy, you guys keep them uninformed on their way. The person that cannot read, you guys inform them by listening. The person who is unable to do stuff, you guys then inform them. The blind, you guys inform them by listening. And that is what made them scared. Because the people who they were depending on to run with whatsoever that is happening, that you only get a minimum or nothing, they are the person that is actually getting up now because they are informed somehow, somewhere. And they realize that this is social media. This social media is informing.
Hold on for a minute. They're saying that there's no sound. Anyone who can hear me? Let me know if you all can hear me. Someone is saying that there's no sound. Let me all know if you all can hear me. Hold on for me, please, sir. Okay, go ahead. Let's say you can hear me. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And I know that the people want to call you, but I'm saying the utterance that he make, he realized that all the uninformed person in Jamaica, that for some way or another, because I've been there and I've spoken to people, right? And they have absolutely no idea of what is going on in Jamaica.
Why?
No idea.
About Jamaica? Then listen to the news.
Because the thing is that, Jeffrey, is that they are so caught up in survival, they don't take the time out to be informed about current affairs in their country. But what I realize, the social media, especially TikTok, they may be in the car and they are hearing it. Like for me, I run a business, I'm always busy, but I can put in my earpiece and listen to you guys talking, informing me at the same time. I do a lot of research, but Ratty God have actually opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. And those are the things that is happening, which they are scared of. The people who they were relying on to take their lie or take what they want them to get. Those people is getting more than that now from social media without putting out much effort. And that is what is scaring. And as for the DPP, honestly, I don't even comment because I see nothing to talk about or comment on. It's absolutely nothing to really say that she should do this. because I don't know where or why would someone think about taking job from a younger person to give to a person who already benefit enough from taxpayer. So all the tax money that her family have paid, she have benefit from that already. So give it to another taxpayer individual so that they can benefit also from their tax dollar. So for that, I don't even see a reason to really debate that because that's nonsense. That's just low nonsense. And I listened to the gentleman that called and you were trying for him to see if you can get him to admit the fact, which he is actually playing politics. But the fact is that what happened in the trial, it's a two-way stream. I study a little bit of law, right? So it could be beneficial to cartel and it could have been beneficial to DPP, but it's pretty clear what took place with the jury. You should have dismissed the case, or as everybody know, you get some new jury. No, you did not. But she admit that she have done a lot of case like that before. Now, that is just absolutely naive and stupid. And I don't think that in no circumstances, I'm not saying that because what I look at Mr. Jeffrey is that, the guy that they say get killed could be my brother or my father. So I'm also looking at from that point of view. I don't know if he's dead for real, right? But what we're basically debating here is not about the crime, but it's about the step that is taken by the person who we rely on to make the right decision and make the right call. That is what we're looking at. That's what we're debating, is that the step that she take was not a legal step that should have been taken by the person who we give all the power to take the legal step. And when everybody fails us, we expect that she would have made the right call. And let me give you an example. I have a case in the legal counsel in Jamaica. There are also some very naive lawyers. I'm gonna cut it short. So I have a case with a lawyer there. This lawyer presented no affidavit. She got 31 days to present it. She did not. So he was at default. When she did write something to submit to the law council, what she stated was that all the document that she had, the email, the phone call, whatsoever, she can't find it. So all the proof that she should have presented with our negotiation and our business agreement, she cannot find it. Okay? I understand that. They said to us that we have to show up in person for a trial. I phoned up 3 times and the lady is absent 3 times. One time, the second time I got frustrated and I said, I'm not coming back, right? You guys have to do this on Zoom because they say it cannot be done on Zoom. I said, you have to do it on Zoom because it's pretty clear that she had no reason to, she's not showing up, okay? I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna risk it. So I went back the 3rd time. You know what happened? They said to me that she's unable to come because she had a funeral arrangement. That was a Saturday. Now, when we actually reach a point now to the Zoom, in that meeting, with all these so-called lawyers, there are no lawyers. They are some garbage. I said to them, okay, why was you not present in the meeting? She said that some silly excuse. You know what the lawyer told me was the excuse at the time when I was present? That she is a Sabbath lady. And she acknowledged before them and myself, she's not a Sabbath lady. But she did not know that they use.
Hold on for me. For the people who want to know the number is 954-529-8030. 954-529-8030. Sir, you have 2 minutes more to wrap up the
2 minutes. Yeah, I want to wrap up. So the fact is that she was not a Sabbath. They used that as excuse for her not to show up when I was present. And then she acknowledged that she was not a Sabbath. She embarrassed. And they said, okay, you know what you have to do? You have to pay $50,000 for this for not showing up. She begged them not to pay the $50,000. They said 32 have 5 days to pay it. After 2 weeks' time, she still did not pay it. You know what? I have to go away. I said to them before I went away, 2 weeks before, I said, can we have this over Zoom because I have to leave the island? You know what? They did not reply back to me until the child. So I said,
hold on. Isn't this case before the court?
No, we finished. I'm not put up to you now.
Hold on for this. I don't have enough time. That's what I'm asking you. It is finished with, and judgment was handed down.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Can you call me back on next time we speak about this, please?
Okay, sir. No problem. All right. Thank you, man. Cool. All right.
The numbers to call is a WhatsApp number 954-529-8030. 945-954. It's on the thing there below where I am. It's right below my chin and my mouth. 954-529-8030. That's the numbers to call in. Yes, Miss P, go ahead. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the program. Miss P?
Hello?
Yes, you hear?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man, I hear you more a couple of minutes to myself. That's why it takes so long to call back.
Hold, Miss P.
Listen to me, I know.
Hold on, Miss P. I'm going to call you as I'm about to end the program. I'll call you and I can give you more minutes. I'm going to set this call and make it on and then I'll call you.
Yeah, all right. No problem.
Cool. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mekotar program.
Sir, I just want to encourage you and let you know that whenever these people have any other plan, they always try to come with some level of destruction, right? They're coming. So you see the way the bloggers and the Paula Llewellyn case, this is another set of destruction that they're coming with. So while we're paying attention to that, make sure you look out for what next. Because there's so many things that is going on and they're trying to push through. So they have to at all times trying to find some level of destruction.
Yes.
Because you all know that these people, they don't care. They have no character. They have no form of conscience.
Yes.
They have no care or anything at all. Their intention is to fulfill their plan at all costs. And one thing I want to encourage Jamaican people, if they ever put back Paula Llewellyn in her position back, Jamaica needs to lock down. Because you know what that is telling us? That no poor people down there have a chance. And Paula Llewellyn...
It is showing us that our judicial system, ma'am, is corrupt more than anything else.
Exactly. And poor people have no chance. So therefore, because if you lock down any of them put her back there. Yeah, it needs to be locked down. Because that's what I say, if we can't get no justice, there should be no peace.
All right, ma'am. Thanks much.
All right.
The number to call is also a WhatsApp number, 954-529-8030. And I want to say thanks to all those who are listening to us from... Hold on. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mekotar program. I have a video to play, Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mekotar program.
Hey, I just called. I just want one more thing when we did left out. Yeah. Say for instance, if DPP don't get to go back in the office, my thought, I don't know if you can say it publicly, but my thought is that, you see, if mere fact how she go against cartel, I feel like it's system need to put together.
You be careful what you said now, what are you going to talk about, please?
What I'm saying is that I think the Jamaican justice system need to take a look, go back. I don't know how much people them are going to hire. I don't know how much money them are going to spend. But you see, just like how the acting DPP go in a court and say, hey, even though it have bear taxpayers them, we need to do this because in because this is injustice. We are doing this because of justice. They need to take a look at Paula Llewellyn case, them, what she did preside over, what she did take to court. All of them, go through them one. If I 1 million, they need to take it time and they need to set up some people to go through them one. And if there is something that she did wrong, not only one, but if it occurs more than one time, she not supposed to just lose her practice, our thing for the law. She's not supposed to just get disbarred. They're supposed to go after her. Because just like
you think that
yeah.
that done in Jamaica?
To tell you the truth, you see, because me see what happened with the exit case. Remember I said Paula Llewellyn say at this time when we don't choose to go further, you know, and this man comes from foreign general. The man gets stamped in a passport, you know. So that obviously means that I know this man pull the trigger, but this man gonna use and the same DPP now. Cartel get 13 years already. The same DPP say, hey, we have to go back for this man in the case of justice. You know? So they need to do that. You know? And you need to talk about it too. You need to push the narrative there too. Okay.
You're live.
Morning, sir. Yes, I've been watching the program and honestly I've not subscribed. Like I said, I live in the United States. I'm a Jamaican and I've been watching the program and watching this thing since Cartel got locked up for weed back in the 2011 case and Barrington Burton and Paula Llewellyn and everything. I'm a JLP because my parents was diated JLP. And I'm just calling this to say this, yes. I'm just calling this to say this, that when I see truth and I see lie, I know it. And the JLP government is doing a lot of bad things right now. I wouldn't have voted for them if I was in Jamaica. And the DPP is wrong. I mean, I say Vibes Cartel right, because I'm a Gaza fan. But the truth is that when somebody do you wrong and won't admit that they're wrong and want to like bully you because what she's doing is bullying, and because she has the JLP behind her back, you know, we need to, like what Nani of the Maroon did, we need to form as Jamaican people and a group that willing to speak out and also take action, because talking alone now go work, you know. And we give them the power and they might use it against we. So all I'm saying is I respect your program. Me I listen to Multi Perkins from my grandmother's day, also my great grandmother, not my grandmother alone. Yeah. And me respect your program. So continue to do the great work, my boss. Me I go and never subscribe to your channel. I can't donate right now, but I will follow the procedures and what I need to do, and respect you for let a lot of people have their voice been heard and exploiting the truth and the lies. Because yes, this woman, be true, like the lady will say, she has 65, she must be like very spot in that position. So yeah, man, you know, I'm happy to have my voice been heard too, and I like your movement. And if more people can really come across this platform and voice their opinion, I guess more people will understand and see that yes, we all have a choice right here on this platform. Thank you.
And for me, people are saying that I'm low. I don't know why. For me, I invite everyone to come on my program.
Yes, sir.
They can like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk YouTube channel.
Yes.
It is Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to know when I go live. And whenever I go live, you all are welcome to call in and talk about anything. Why is it is respectful and it's not it is not defamatory? You can come on and talk about anything, sir.
We have intelligence now. We are same as though we have other things about it, man. But respect, and I say I'm glad for your number, and I know I am going to subscribe, and I'm going. You know, I work very hard, so. When I hear sometimes, like right now I'm driving, and when I hear you on the program, sometimes I go up on your channel, me just stop on it and go and listen to the nonsense and what makes sense, but me more believe in what makes sense. So, yes, you know, thank you very much and only by respect.
Thank you for calling in, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for answering my call.
Yeah, man. You're welcome. Am I low? You're saying that I'm low. I don't know what's going on here. The numbers to call is 954-529-8030. It is also a WhatsApp number. It is now 129 in the land of wood and water. I think we're still on Sugar Wayne Rockers Radio. I'm pronouncing the name correctly. If not, then we're gonna Just remember to like, share, and subscribe. Loud and clear. Thank you very much. I know some people are saying that check your echo. I'm very low. Some people say I'm low. Some say I'm high. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, there's a video I want you all to listen before I go with Dion Jackson Miller. Here we go.
The Court of Appeal has started to hear arguments in the case of the DPP retirement age issue. The government was first up to bat. So how did they do? Stay tuned. As a quick reminder, Parliament passed an act to amend the Constitution to raise the retirement age of the DPP, Director of Public Prosecutions, along with the Auditor General. The opposition challenged the act, saying it was unconstitutional. The Supreme Court agreed, struck out a section of the act, and the government has appealed. Just a reminder, you can watch my video, my explainer video, giving you all the background. It's called The Case of the Determined DPP, and that gives you everything you need to bring us to where we are right now. So where are we? King's Counsel Allan Wood has been leading arguments on behalf of the team of lawyers representing the government. Now, one of his main arguments today is that the act was passed in exactly the way that the Constitution says it should be passed, so it's valid. What does he mean? Let me explain very, very briefly. There are three types of provisions in the Constitution. These are referred to as not entrenched, entrenched, and deeply entrenched. That's the language they use. Now, provisions of the Constitution that are not entrenched can be passed with a majority of all the members of each house. What does that mean in terms of numbers? The House of Representatives has 63 MPs, so a majority of the 63 would be 32. In the Senate, there are 21 members, so a majority is 11. Now, what that means is that a government with more than 32 MPs in the lower house, which this government does have, can pass that type of constitutional amendment in the lower house without any support from the opposition. In the Senate, the government always has 13 members. Again, they only need 11. So again, this type of amendment can be passed in the upper house, again, without any support from the opposition. So Mr. Wood has been making the argument that the provision in the Constitution that deals with the DPP's retirement age is not entrenched, so it can be passed without any support from the opposition. And he says, this is what happened, so the act is valid. Full stop, end of story. He even said he should be able to sit down, having made that argument, suggesting that there's nothing more to be said. But of course, he didn't sit down. Now, one of the other concerns that has been expressed is that this act has allowed the DPP to get a second extension of her tenure after retirement, and that the Constitution doesn't allow more than one extension. So back up a little bit. Remember now, Ms. Llewellyn reached retirement age in 2020. In September 2020, she was 60. Now, she had asked for an extension. She had got a 3-year extension. That would have expired in September 2023. But the government passed this law to raise her retirement age in July, before she reached her 63rd birthday. The government is therefore saying that what happened here is that the act, because it was passed while Ms. Llewellyn was still in that first extension, that what the act then did was to extend the period of her extension, and therefore this was all part and parcel of the first extension, not a second extension. Another concern had to do with the second part of the act. This was a part that the Supreme Court struck out, saying it was unconstitutional. This part of the act said that the holder of the office at the time the act came into effect, which could only be Ms. Llewellyn, could elect to remain in office after the age of 60 by writing to the Governor General. The Supreme Court said that this gave her a power that she didn't have before. That is the power to decide to remain in office. That's because the Constitution sets out the way in which the retirement age should be extended. What the Constitution says is that the Prime Minister, after consultation with the leader of the opposition, can then recommend to the Governor General that the DPP's tenure be extended past the age of retirement. So the concern was that by allowing this, that what the act was doing was to cut the opposition leader out of the process and to give the DPP this right to remain in office, which she didn't have before. The Supreme Court said this was not what the framers of the Constitution had intended to happen. But arguing today, Mr. Wood said the Supreme Court didn't understand the provision. He said that's not what it was about. He said what the section was intended to do was to allow Ms. Llewellyn to leave earlier than 65 if she wanted to, because when she became DPP, the retirement age was 60. So if she didn't want to stay till 65, this particular section of the act was giving her a chance to leave earlier than 65 if she wanted to. Now, on this point, the judges did have quite a few questions. They were asking if it was that there were other laws dealing with public servants, dealing with pensions that dealt with the issue of early retirement. Why would this section in the Constitutional Amendment Act be necessary? Mr. Wood answered saying it was out of an abundance of caution. It was just to make sure that everything in the Constitution hung together and that you couldn't say, hold on, how this part says this and this part says something else. Mr. Wood also responded to the argument that the act breached the constitutional principle of separation of powers. Separation of powers is a constitutional principle that says the three branches are the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive.
You heard what she said? The three branches are?
The legislature is parliament that passes laws. The judiciary, that's the judges. And then the executive is led by cabinet. The executive runs the government and includes all the other public servants. In our system, though, the legislature and the executive aren't really separate. If you think about it, cabinet ministers sit in the executive, but they also sit in the legislature. In parliament, they're either MPs or they're senators. Now, Mr. Wood was making the argument that because we have this intertwining of the executive and the legislature, that you can't then make an argument to say that this act that the government passed breaches separation of powers by giving Parliament the power to extend the retirement age, which is something the executive is supposed to do. Mr. Wood said you can't make that argument because really and truly, the only time you have a breach of separation of power is if you have either the executive or the legislature interfering with the judiciary. Let me just repeat that and explain that one more time. The argument being made by the opposition is that under the Constitution, the decision to extend the tenure of the DPP after the retirement age is made by the Prime Minister, who consults with the opposition leader and then makes a recommendation to the Governor General. So those three, as members of the executive, are making the decision. Now, the opposition has been arguing that Parliament, in enacting this particular law, cuts the opposition leader out of the picture because it says that the DPP can elect to stay in office after retirement age. And they're saying you therefore have Parliament interfering with a job that should belong to the executive.
Quite interesting.
And again, Mr. Wood's argument is that because the executive and the legislature are so intertwined in our kind of system of government, what we have a Westminster-style constitution adopted from Britain. And he's saying because our legislature and our executive are so mixed up, so intertwined, you can't talk about one of them interfering with the job of the other. I have to say, it's a pretty absolute argument. I'm not sure if within our system, even in our system, you can make those kinds of actual, blanket black and white statements, but we'll see how it plays and we'll see, what the judges eventually decide on that point. Finally, in relation to the opposition's argument that the act was passed for an improper purpose, which is to give Ms. Llewellyn, they are arguing, more time in the office, Mr. Wood said, no, that's not true. We've given you lots of documents, lots of evidence to show that the government did have a proper purpose in passing this act, and the purpose was to harmonize the retirement ages of the DPP and the Auditor General with other public servants. Okay, so that's a recap of some of the main submissions made today. I have to say, some of those we have been hearing, not a surprise, those arguments, because we certainly have been hearing them from the government, in particular from the Justice Minister. So we'll see what happens when the government continues to make their arguments on day 2 of the.
And that's today. That is today. Today is day 2, where the Court of Appeal in downtown Kingston is hearing the case of the Director of Public Prosecution. Will Paula remain the Director of Public Prosecution for Jamaica based on what is going on within the court of the land? And based on all of that, my views on it, this is my honest, humble view, that do not be surprised if she don't remain Director of Public Prosecution for this country, based on what is going on. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Hit the bell icon to know when I go live. Like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe. You know something? When you sit and you listen to all of this, and I'm going to reach out to Lady Dion Jackson Miller, Mrs. Jackson Miller. I want to reach out to her and speak to her off air about certain things. But when you listen to what she's saying, it makes absolutely sense. It makes a lot of sense, rather. Makes a lot of sense. I think I have a next call coming into the program. One moment for me. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to the program. Hold on. Hello? Lord have mercy. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not hearing you. Hold on. Go ahead.
Yes, I listened to what Miss Dion Jackson would like to say. And full point that you put forward over the Senate and the government. But the question that's left unanswered is the capability of Paula Llewellyn to function as a DPP going forward. She's damaged goods. This is the woman who was admitted to egregious false imprisonment, so to speak, of people, putting people in prison with compromised jewelry and stuff like that. How are you going to balance that and bring her forward? Tell me.
It's a very good question. Wrong process. I don't know. The question I've been asked, the question that I have been asking all along on this program here is the Attorney General of Jamaica and Jamaica's Chief Justice should look into the cases that she has presided over. But of course, they are not doing that. They're busy appealing the Constitutional Court judgment on the good lady. So that is to show you that they don't care about what we think.
Well, the Justice League or somebody have to come forward, like in Brooklyn, New York, they have the conviction review unit, something to that effect. Somebody has to be reviewed, and I would suspect that some of the lawyers of convicted defendant would make a case and say, hey, look, I brought it up a trial that my Jew was compromised. And the judge went forward. So now I want you to take a fresh look at this case.
You have to have proof that that was so, you know.
Yeah, but that's why I said if it came up a trial, you know, you can't appeal something that was never presented at trial.
Yes.
They shut you down.
True. Well, let us watch and see, sir. Thank you
Well,
for calling in.
when you speak to Miss Miller, Dion Jackson Miller again, man, it's possible to breach a topic with her. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna see if I can get a number for her and speak to her.
I thank you much.
All right, thanks much. I'm gonna end the program, but before I do so, I have to call my good friend. I have to call back my good friend. I promise I'll call her when the program is gonna be end. The program end. Hold on, that call coming in. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make Talk program. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. You?
I'm doing fine. Okay, been listening to your program for I think for the last month. So I'm fairly a newbie, but I've been enjoying everything that you've put out so far.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to commend you on that. And also, I just wanted to give my opinion and my take on the whole DPP situation. So, listening to the recording that you played from the cartels case, where the DPP admitted that she had dealt with tainted jurors before.
It wasn't really from the cartel case, you know. She had an interview on a radio station and she admitted those things, man.
So she admitted it after the Privy Council? Was that it? You're right. So when she admitted that, I think right then and there should have been some kind of red flags that went up. Because for her to admit that publicly, I don't think she wanted to, but I think because the guy was pressing her, she openly admitted that. Right away, that should have been a red flag. That, okay then, so because you did it before and it went through, right? It's because you did it before and it happened so many times, you found it legal and actually acceptable to do it again in a big profile case like that, right? And so for it went through, and this guy and these other men have been sitting in jail for 13 years. I don't know cartel. I don't know if he's innocent or guilty, but they did not give the public and these men a fair trial, because you would never know if that juror corrupted the case and persuade the other jurors to vote guilty, because it's reverse psychology. You understand? So you can say, all right then, because they said it's tainted, well, we're going to use it because it's against the prosecution to vote not guilty. No. And she admitted that. So right there, I think, she has done some stuff that they need to really look into, because she has a lot of power. Because I'm listening to this Jackson lady. I've been listening to her for a few now, and I think she's very, very, very informative, and she's
an attorney at law and a radio personnel, a journalist.
Yeah, and she's very, very informative, and I like the way she breaks down things. Yeah. And I listened to what she said this morning, and she's saying that Paula Llewellyn have a lot of power. Nobody can tell the DPP anything. They cannot tell her how to do her job. So you think about that. So if I have that power, go ahead, sir.
Sorry to cut you. And I think that's where the problem lies in our judicial system in this country. I don't think you should have one person. Just like the Prime Minister of Jamaica. A lot of people don't understand that the Prime Minister of Jamaica have more power than even the President of the United States. Based on our Constitution. The Jamaican Prime Minister have more power than anybody else.
So I'm asking you, because I left Jamaica when I was like 11 years old, right? So I live in the States. I live in Pennsylvania. And I've been back to Jamaica a few times, but I'm not too, I'm not too familiar with all the laws. I mean, this cartel case, and I think I can speak for a lot of people in the diaspora, that we are being educated a lot about the Jamaica justice system Vibes cartel case has actually opened up a lot of windows and doors, and it acknowledged the people now paying attention to how Jamaica justice system work. And the way Jamaica justice system work, it makes no sense because it's like there's no checks and balances. And if there's no checks and balances, then that means Jamaica people are living in a dictatorship, because someone has to be held accountable for something. You can't just say, right, then the people them elect you there, remember, the people put you there. So how now that you are there, you acting like you're better than the people and you're over the people. I don't think it should be about party, because even here in America, we have Democrats and we have Republicans. And I can say that I'm an independent, because I want to be able to differentiate who's doing what and who's not doing what. And if one government is not doing something, I have the freedom and the right to change my mind and vote for whoever I want to vote for.
Yes,
and I think the need to start thinking like that. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm green or I'm orange. You need to think and watch and see what these people do and vote accordingly, because when a person has power, remember, we're all human beings, and you give us too much power, we take advantage of it. And I think when there's so much power being in government that people don't want to let go. Even Paula Llewellyn, she served her time is up. How do you go to a back door to change the constitution to favor you? You understand me? So that you can sit in office and do whatever you want to do as long as you want to do it. And nobody can't. Nobody can tell me nothing. So I can do whatever I want to do. If nobody can tell me nothing about God, because the way them make it seems is like nobody cannot tell you, only God alone can stop her. So if God alone can stop her, then she have the power to talk to anybody anywhere. Have government Rebecca,
It's just like the Rocky Mead, the ambassador of Plentiful. He has power to travel overseas and speak on behalf of the Jamaican government. And nobody knows what he speaks about. That's the power that Andronis gives to him. So we are in a very serious predicament in this country, ma'am. And if we don't stand up in this country and speak out, then may God help us. There won't be a Jamaica for our children, ma'am.
It's serious. And then I have one more thing to say, is that look at what's going on in Kenya. I don't know if people are paying attention, but Kenya is also a third world country. And right now, the Kenyan government, he's been in power for 2 years, and he's now raising the taxes again on the people them. And the people them is out in the streets, and it's the young people them that's out in the streets.
Yep.
You understand? And they're they're protesting. Even this morning they set the parliament on fire. I'm not saying that people should do that in Jamaica, but I'm just saying people are taking
the parliament on fire in Kenya this morning.
Yeah, go and check it out, because they passed the bill, and people have been protesting about this. It's not on major news. You know how the major media is, so you have to get your information through social media. But my husband is a Kenyan, so I pay attention to the Kenyan, to what's going on, in Kenya and Jamaica. Yeah. And them is the people them is out there, and it's mostly the young kids, because they organize on social media. You understand me? And that's why you see the government them now go try to stop social media, because they're trying to stop freedom of speech. They're trying to stop freedom of press, and you cannot stop freedom of press, because people have the right to express themselves whichever way they want to.
Yes.
You understand? Because they're not inciting violence. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
So I just think that people in Jamaica needs to wise up and stop thinking about other stuff, and stop thinking about this and that and mix up, because sometimes I think some mix up and stuff take away what's really going on really in this country. This one said this about this, and some of these celebrities that cover over the airway. And this is what they need to start putting onto their platform. Some of these celebrities, when they mix up and this and this of this one man, they need to stop talking about stuff like that and talking about what's really going on in the country. Because they have a lot of influence.
Hello?
Yep.
That is why people don't like Jeffrey Tavares, ma'am. Because I'm not in this propaganda thing and sus and who they're in a parliament, who they're in a parliament. That's none of my business. What I want to talk about is issues that's facing the country. Issues that are facing the Caribbean. Issues that are facing black people from Jamaica to Africa. That's what I want to talk about.
Yes, and you're doing a good job, sir. And I can say for all your subscribers that we appreciate it and keep doing, keep putting up the good fight.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. I want everyone to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. There's a fake YouTube channel out there named Make We Talk. That's me. You have to type in Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares LLC. When we go to Google, you can see my big face and anything in Google.
Your big face.
Yes, that's me. That's like, share, and subscribe. And I want to say thank you for calling in, my dear. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. Oh, Lord. Wasn't somebody calling in a while ago? Yes, I'm being told that. Let me check something here because I got to go off air. I'm going to call Miss Speed and go off air. But before we go, let me go check something here about Kenya. I didn't know the Kenyan parliament went on fire. My God. It's not good at all. The voice of the people, the power of the people is speaking. The people said they had enough. And the people are speaking out against what is going on. Let me see something here. Bear with me. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. It was 5 hours ago. That was 5 hours ago in Kenya. Let me see. Let me figure out something here. Let's go back to this. We're gonna, well, as soon as we finish showing this video. Oh, my producers are saying I shouldn't show that video because I may get copyright. Let me not show any of it. No, hold on there. Producers, I'm going to override you, Let me figure out. We're going to do this. We're going to... Matter of time indeed, my friend. It's a matter of time before Jamaicans wake up and smell the coffee. Things are going to happen in the country soon.
I'm Gene Francie. We are following some breaking news at this hour. Right now, I want to take you out live to Nairobi, Kenya. This is something we've been following since early this morning. Protesters taking to the streets. They are against a proposed tax increase, and we're learning now at 8:19 here on the East Coast. They are now entering parliamentary buildings. We have seen conflict with authorities and officials there on the ground, some pushing, some back and forth. I'm going to pot up the audio so we can listen in. This coming in from our content partners at Reuters via Citizen TV. I will say viewer discretion is advised. You can see smoke there in the background. We've been seeing, again, some tussling, some back and forth, things getting very heated there in Nairobi, Kenya, as these protesters aren't too happy about that proposal.
We do not own the rights to this feed. We do not own the rights to this feed, and graphic contents may be on it. We do apologize, but we don't own the rights to this feed.
Tax increase. Let's watch all of this unfold.
Being loaded into the ambulances. We see police have exercised some sort of restraint on this side as protesters now march with the bodies along Parliament Road. But even on the other side of Parliament, that is affecting Woolpack, police are still with protesters who want to get to gain their end, which is in the way to Parliament.
Sorry, I have to break this. The next call coming in. One moment. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Make We Talk program. Go ahead.
Hey, Jeffrey.
What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, big up on the program we are going this morning and bring some light. I mean, because sometimes we miss some news, But when you play Mouthpiece Radio clip plus what the lawyer and the announcer, Dion Jackson Miller, who is somebody I know very well and work with. She put it into... No man, she was in the field of environment before.
Okay.
You know? So, but after all been said and done, Jeffrey, I think we are missing something, you know. To me, Andrew in a problem. You know, if people will pick it up, Andrew is in problem. Because if you as a prime minister you agree with what your cabinet or ministers are doing, and you can rein them in. Because if you say no, we're not going, we do 3 years already, make it stop yourself.
I think
you don't make it.
I personally think
Well,
this is my personal view, and we can't stay long because I have to go now. I have a meeting.
No, but I know. That's about the end of the program.
My personal view is, and I have to call Ms. Pito. My personal view is that the PM may have said no, but maybe because maybe he had a different conversation with Delroy Chuck, and he said, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. That's my personal view. I don't know if it's true, but you know.
Well, I can tell you from good source, the Prime Minister now have 50% support in amongst the 49. It's divided.
I've been told that on many occasions.
And this is based on what is happening. It is very clear that you have the upper hand in this house. And if you notice what is going on, health, everything, you can't fire tough time. You can't shuffle him from out of that position. You shuffle around tough time, you shuffle around Sleepy Joe.
You can't, no.
What's going on?
No. When they come on to Sleepy Chang, not Sleepy Joe, man. When they come on to Sleepy Chang, he can't trouble Sleepy Chang. He cannot. I dare the Prime Minister of Jamaica to touch the Minister of National Insecurity. I dare him. He cannot touch the Minister of National Insecurity, Dr. Harris Chan. He cannot. And he only have big time. He only have big time. Huh?
He can't touch Darryl either.
And he can't touch Mrs. Warmington either.
You see?
He cannot touch Mrs. Warmington.
So we are in trouble.
Yes, serious trouble, sir. Anyway, caller.
And I know you have to go, but I will say to you,
yes,
in your them put back Paula Llewellyn in that position, bang around your yard. Bang around. What you see the taxi man the other day is nothing comparing to if them put. Tell them to put back Paula Llewellyn. Tell them to put her back. And you will see. You will see. If they get Jamaican and Jamaican can protest. Make them put back Paula Llewellyn. You don't do what you have to do with Bedford. But tell them to put back Paula Llewellyn.
All right, my brother. Thanks much. Thank you. We're gonna end the program now, but we have to call back Miss P. Miss P, if you hear me call me back, or let me call you back. Anyone you want to do? And I love to give Miss P the last part of this program here. Let me see something here. Hold a minute for me, please. Go here. Go here. Oh no, not here. Just here. Come back here. Here. Miss P. Good afternoon, Miss P. Welcome back to the program.
Man, afternoon.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me give my little piece
Yes,
now.
this is you.
Yeah,
You're gonna close the program now.
Yeah. We do happen in Jamaica. You see what happened in Kenya? And Mr. Andrew Willis, our Right Excellency, Most Honorable
Dr.
Andrew Michael
No
Holmes.
man, and that's what
Dr. Andrew.
the most honorable Dr. Michael Andrew Holness.
Andrew Holness.
PCQC.
AKA Bro God.
Yes.
May I tell you something? I believe you're a human being like everybody else. You use bathroom, you do the thing like that. We all make mistakes. But what you are making and the things that you are doing is not mistake, is deliberately. Sir, if you look and think every time you open your mouth, you dig 1 inch more of your grave. So my advice to you, sir, talk go on and talk. Because the more you talk, the more you make people irritate. You make people vomit, you make people stomach sick. So whosoever advise you, sir, learn to advise yourself. Our country is in crisis. And don't believe that people are going to sit down every time and just do it. When you set a bucket and pipe, Mr. Andrew Wallace, and turn on the pipe, and when the bucket full of movie, where you believe going to happen? They're going to run over. We are human beings, sir. And for you judges and lawyers and delegates and bills who are signing this new constitution and signing back Paula Llewellyn, remember, guys, most are over 50, over 70. Think about the grand picnic because in the new constitution, we don't call it constitution, it will affect them because the constitution, the new constitution, the one we are living in now is never we make it. For the people before we were gone, before we make it for us. Come on, Jamaican people, open your eyes and stop being naive. And for you, Mr. Chuck, you said the picnic, the registry of the open. We don't see now which country sex register of it make people who. That is a red flag. That give people thinking their mind who want to friend in night too. Miss Paula Llewellyn, guard your yard. Because if you go back round at the DPP office, it not gonna be nice. You're going in your bed and turn and tick like pinch, you can't sleep. Because when the tears go up, the blessing come down. People are bald. When the tears goes up, tears are language where God understand. Who not careful when I do with people. Who very seldom a person live 100 or over 100. Who know what dead too? Who not go like who no go and go live forever ever. Mr. Andrew Wallace was born 1972. You're born in a free Jamaican country. As kind to you, you was born poor. Like you were away. It was a struggle. Why you want to turn the country in dictatorship, sir? Sir, think. Look. Just like when you cross a trail, you just stop, look, and listen. Mr. Andrew Wallace, stop, look, and listen. And amend your attitude then. Your behavior stink. And everybody talks something about you. I say you know what's bigger or whatever. You send police for them and them have to apologize and all the taxi man when you make all you say I don't know brown suit policeman. I want to know look from I got basic school to Tillington man. I want to do to other people who have no brother, no uncle, no cousin, even no one pick me. If I want that happen to them. And I am a prime minister. Nothing that is wrong in this country, you know, come out, come condemn it. Nothing will happen to poor people or the less fortunate. The lady bar for Miss Gloria Smith or them thief all the woman pilling at the hospital and she dead. And you know, come out of the prime minister and him this say it unfortunate away. Say something, although we know you're the lions man in the whole universe. But say something. Say something. You know, say nothing. The police woman will harass a young lady You are going to say about people that fight police. You are police, huh? Police train for de-escalate problem. And when there's problem, people get irritated. We not tell nobody to go shoot police, down police. But the police train and know how to de-escalate problem. That problem, it could have handled in a different way. Because it's alleged that other police come there before and talk to them and done. But the principal send the big bad friendly bully pit bull and come do it, bite the lady. Now, Mr. Andrew Wallace, I'll do your school, home school for you pick them. You are he's a parent and you got the school for somewhere, whatever. And something might be nice. We're Jamaica, we're going to go book, kick or whatever. Freedom of speech. The police, the woman never have a stick to one, timber nothing. And if you stand up in a face, how many Jamaican ordinary people know that pointing it to a police face is a crime? Nobody know. I mean, that kind of name face, everybody know.
Miss P, hold on a minute. But the question must be asked, though, Miss P. The police are allowed to disrespect we, though.
That is it. And you have said nothing about it. Did you see pop up by the camera where the police put a man patting on his shoulder first and put him for kneel down? And you hear a single gunshot. The man never have a stone.
Yes, that's all.
He never have a tick. And you as a prime minister of your country never come out and condemn it. We don't hear nothing from Armstrong. We don't hear nothing from you. And we don't hear nothing from Google too. We don't hear nothing, we don't hear nothing from the church. No. What kind of Mr. Andrew Wallace? To cover up your problem, you're going to lead this country into what you call it, a civil war. And no war. But you're going to have some people are going to say, no man, enough is enough. Andrew Wallace, nobody now beg you no money if you can feed them at the yard. We want livable wages. We want you to create job that people can work, send them picnic at school, pay them bills and relax like the Jamaica where we used to. Because we have to tear to rum too. I feel like we're not Jamaica. Two rights of liquor, we don't want nobody. Liquor partner for sure, so we used to everything. You become a multi-billionaire. Look how disrespectful, Prime Minister. We want to tell people about law and hard, and you as the Prime Minister cannot declare your asset. Then what you expect to chop them a road for you do? You don't know, so I want to make people pick it up school and take up scamming so big, and I want to start, you know. But when you pick them, look and see, boy, big school and me have 10 CHC, me have 11K. But me I get there, call center and hotel where people hang you like you know nothing in a hotel. Eh? And when that man I look and see in front of chop and he can go chop too. You know think he might go chop. Nobody no want work. People want good life. And you born at Jamaica. Go to Jamaica, school at Jamaica, and do Jamaica this. You talk about social media. Eli Clark come out, come disrespect Mark Golding, say Mark Golding bring his wife at age 14. You as the prime minister, no come out and condemn me. I say you're wrong. You pass your boundaries, sir. You go on a man private life and not go so. When you take a stop, the man wife must be 2 years older than the man. Eh? And you know, come out and condemn.
You see, if I Mark Golding, Miss P, when I done with hierarchy, you know how nothing left.
And you, if I me, politics are gonna demand private life. And I tell lie, you don't come with no facts. And I tell lie. When you look again, it's alleged that he said Eli Clark have 2 baby mother with lock up and gonna push back for it. It's alleged. It's alleged.
Yeah, but no,
it's alleged.
Hold on, Miss P. It's alleged, yes, but don't go down the road there, please. I will tell you off here why I said that to you.
All right. So all of the dirty things that come out. You You need to stand up and make everybody happy. Mr. Andrews, you must make Jamaica, if what you promise, you did give to Jamaica and give to Jamaican, it would have been a glory. It would have been a glory. It would have been so nice. People, hospital, don't have nothing nice. So if you take sick, but they're and dead, every hospital is still over dead. So there's no help. Talk it through them as a Wallis man. Put them in prime minister shit now, man. Just sit down as an ordinary layman. And look, think, look what happening to the people, man. Them proudly vote you in as a young man, a man of the soil, a man where come from a poor background and say, all right, he no hungry, he no white flour, dumpling and butter. So he will make you, you go in there, you make you worse, the people. You talk to anyhow, anyway, back at the people, ignorant more you don't know there. You're your wife. Not use the parliament and turn on the parliament and put all mic in a parliament and a lack of people when you feel like. That's not good enough, brother.
Hold on there. About the mic system in the parliament, though. It's not Jamaica alone that you have something like that. I know before we had a mic system where everybody could get up and talk. But I think, to me, I have seen where other jurisprudence or other countries around the world have a mic system where if the speaker don't turn on the mic, you cannot speak. And people will say that that's a part of dictatorship. And to me, I thought it was a part of dictatorship too. But I have seen it at other. If you watch other parliaments, even South Africa now has a system in their parliament where if the speaker don't turn on the mic, you can't talk. At one point, people used to get up and talk. So
All right, yeah, all right. So it happened in a different country. Why our prime minister can't go in a different country and adapt to the good country? We deal with them people, we didn't go a different country, go adapt the arrogant style. Like of Mike, Israel and dictatorship and all type of something. But you know, go somewhere like Singapore, go adapt the good principle and lock up on yourself when you commit fraud. You promise me 100 days tag, no come out of it. Imagine you as a prime minister, the Auditor General come out with them, the allegation, and nobody gets investigated. Look what the amount of coke we find down, so nobody gets arrested. Brother, it's too much. You as a prime minister, you take up yourself, the helicopter, the this, the that, and you go back Clifton, sir. You know, give the court, make the court serve an injunction to people or whatever go to the court system. You yourself, you ever see that happen in Jamaica? I know about many people in the house, brother. You think people forget? So tell me now, Mr. Prime Minister, how could I go behind a screen and put an X beside the bed? You an idiot? Tell me, all of them there, what you do? Look at all of the negative them and put the positive away you do. You don't have nothing to say, well, you implement that. Michael Manley, we can't say the NHC Michael Manley. We can't say Hard Trust Michael Manley. We can't say any, what we can say when you do? Mash down house,
No, I think
dictate to people.
the Hard Trust NTA, Edward Seaga, man. Wasn't it Eddie?
No, sir.
It's not Eddie.
No, negative. No.
It's who?
Him change the name. Him change the name.
Okay.
Change the name.
Okay.
And for some people, make I tell you something. Now, it's about human being. Mr. Oldest, our Prime Minister, love talk and make nice and ignorant. And not do nothing. Someone was say Marky G supposed to come out. Nobody, Marky G, now if you come out and back at the people like a dog, you could go down to an Oldest level to get things done. We want a man with respect and principle. A man with have the heart of people. A man who know to calculate money. A man who know to hug up his wife in a public. A man who know to kiss his wife. To show they had a young man say, this is the way you kiss your wife. This is the way you walk with your wife. Okay? And then the man, we don't want to ignorant bad man and put up wife and put up in dirty boots when taking a shit with the people are cleaning. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want principled person. Because when you become a public person, people are gonna watch you. Everything when you do, people, if you got beach, whoa. See people over there, sir. People want a picture, people want a word with you. So you become a public figure. So when people we are talking about Marky G sharpen and Marky G, this and Marky G are the right man. No long talking. Action, we say. Action time. If you know so Mr. Andrews in life until he believe in oneself. The man believe in one life. You imagine your life until you believe in oneself. And you take people for fool and believe that. That's why we talk about education. And Jamaican people, if you look, jail people like people who are educated. Boston man is a selfish, better education. You understand?
But hold on, Miss B. Miss B, before I make you go, because
yeah.
I have to go now. I do something. Before I make you go, tell me something. He was in sentence a couple of days ago. Did he talk about Silicon Valley again?
He talk about Silicon Valley again. I'm market got take up $1 million and the man tell 1,500 say 2 there. We thinking Silicon Valley. The man put $1 million and he take up one other one way smaller. He still say 2 there. So the example where I said, if you're a private and you have to take up $1 million, and the man said, give me 1,500 for. Me I drink $3,000. I have a drink, sir. I'm in here the big bro God. You gotta tell man to say, then if you are private, I 2 years for you. What do you there people? So because every time he want me more than the things, he just degrade himself and everybody are here. That's the truth. The man sick. The man sick. The man sick. Brother.
Anyway, only you
yeah.
me laugh. Miss B, thank you for calling in.
All right, my dad. Big up yourself.
All right, darling. Miss B,
yeah.
I think Prime Minister said too expensive. Oh my God, no, this is funny. Anyway, we're gonna end the program. Apart from Miss B giving us this joke about what is going on in Kenya, we got to see what is going on in Kenya. And this is what is going on in Kenya right now. I want you all to listen to what is going on and pray that this doesn't come to Jamaica.
There's protests over the new taxation regime that has been put up. People have gone onto the streets, vandalism, arson, and now storming of the parliament building. And what's worse is that 10 people have been shot down. Take a look at this. In the Kenyan capital of Nairobi, protesters clashed with police today, demanding the resignation of President William Ruto over proposed tax hikes. The demonstrations, which began peacefully, turned chaotic as police opened fire on protesters outside Kenya's parliament. Police started shooting tear gas and water cannon, which failed to disperse a crowd of thousands who had overwhelmed officers. Flames could be seen coming from inside the building. A paramedic said that at least 10 people had been killed, and a Reuters journalist outside the parliament counted the bodies of at least 5 protesters. The protesters accused President Ruto of betrayal, pointing out that he won the presidency in 2022 by promising to champion the cause of the working poor. But now people are having to protest against a fresh taxation system. Kenyan police has started to begin to arrive in the Haitian capital as security missions kick off. And of course, the Kenyan police ended up firing upon a medical tent during the protest is what we're picking up as well. Now, various videos showed medical workers holding up their hands as the police approached. Nobody, it seems, is safe at this point in time. They are vehemently opposed to the government's new finance bill, which aims to raise taxes to alleviate the nation's debt burden. Despite the heavy-handed police response, the demonstrators remained resolute. They taunted officers, held up signs demanding, quote-unquote, reject the finance bill, and warned William Ruto's administration of their determination to force him from power. Amid the turmoil, ambulances struggled through the clouds of tear gas, highlighting the intensity of the unrest.
Then why are you doing this?
That's the situation on the ground in Nairobi, ladies and gentlemen. We're also learning about unrest in the Haitian part as well. But let's take a closer look at why Kenyans are protesting against a finance bill. A finance bill is typically presented to the parliament before the start of the financial year, outlining the government's fiscal plans. In the 2024-2025 bill, the Kenyan government aims to raise $2.7 billion in additional taxes to reduce the budget deficit and state borrowing. Kenya's public debt stands at 68% of GDP, exceeding the 55% recommended by the World Bank and the IMF. Facing acute liquidity challenges, Kenya has turned to the International Monetary Fund, which has urged the government to meet revenue targets to secure more funding. Protesters want the government to abandon the planned taxation hikes, arguing they will stifle the economy and increase the cost of living for Kenyans that are already struggling to make their ends meet. What are the proposed measures sparking these protests now, you may ask? The proposed measures include new levies on basic commodities like bread, vegetable oil, and sugar, and a new motor vehicle circulation tax of 2.5% of a car's value to be paid annually. An eco-levy on most manufactured goods, including sanitary towels and diapers, is also proposed. Additionally,
The question I want to ask on this platform here, you hear what the Kenyan people protesting about? New level on taxation, the rising of the increase of bread, flour, sugar, rice, everything. You think if they decide to raise bread and sugar and whatever in Jamaica, you think Jamaica will not protest over it? No, sir. You're not going to see that. Listen to some more what is going on in Kenya.
the bill suggests increasing existing taxes on financial transactions. The government argues these measures are necessary to fund development programs and reduce public debt. And just last week, the government softened its stance slightly, with President Ruto endorsing recommendations to scrap some of the new levies, including those on car ownership, bread, and the eco-levy on locally manufactured goods. However, the finance ministry has said such concessions would create a $1.56 billion hole in the 2024-2025 budget, necessitating spending cuts. President William Ruto has acknowledged the youth-led protests and pledged to hold dialogues to address their concerns. Although it's unclear when this will happen, and will it be a little too late by then because of what we're looking happening on the streets of Nairobi on your screens. It remains uncertain whether the protests will intensify if Parliament passes the bill. The social media-driven protests lack clear leadership structures, but many young people have pledged to continue demonstrating. Some protesters have cited the arrest of at least 2 activists since Ruto's offer to talk on Sunday as evidence that the government lacks the goodwill that it's trying to show. The government maintains that withdrawing some tax proposals shows its willingness to compromise. But at the same time, even as all of this is happening and we try to understand what's going to happen, let's take a look at the relationship between India and Kenya. If you have your loved ones or relatives in Kenya, well, this should matter to you. Now, Kenya has the second largest number of Indians in Africa after South Africa, telling us about the bonhomie between these two nations. Nearly 1.6 lakh NRIs, people of Indian origin, and overseas Indians live in Kenya. A breakup would be 20,000, 60,000, and 80,000. And of course, India is one of the biggest sources of inbound tourists to India. At the same time, India is the second largest investor in Kenya. About 60 FDI projects are successful in Kenya. Over 60 major Indian companies have also invested in various sectors across Kenya. About 3,500 Kenyan students currently study in India across our nation. Just a little tidbit about what's happening on the India-UK front, India-Kenya front, beg your pardon. But protesters continue to march on the streets of Nairobi. The parliament is being stormed. Visuals of fire from inside the parliament, and the police have opened fire on the protesters. About 10 people that have been killed. That number could very well be up as well.
My. That is what is going on in the streets of Nairobi, Kenya. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta is supposed to address medias pertaining to what is going on in Kenya. The Kenyan people, in particular young people, are calling on the current president to step down, because the current president are raising the prices of bread, sugar, oil, and a level of taxation on the people. And young people in Kenya is saying enough of it. My. You know, let me not say what I want to say, because Jamaica, the land of my birth. I want to say thank you all for coming onto the program. Thank you all for being a part of this program. Until you hear my voice again, remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you can contribute to the Make We Talk program by selling us whatever you have. I'm not here to beg anything, but I'm just saying, if you want to contribute to the program, there's our Zelle up there. I want to say thank you all for coming on. Thank you all for being on the program. Let us continue. But you know something, before I go, isn't the same Kenyans who are heading to South Africa? Isn't the same Kenyans who are trying to stop, not South Africa, the same Kenyans are heading to Haiti rather, Haiti, not South Africa, Haiti. Isn't the same Kenyans who are heading to Haiti to stop gang violence in Haiti? And the same Jamaican Prime Minister has promised to send Jamaican sons and daughters in arms way into Haiti, the JDF and the JCF. Let us see if that's going to really happen. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you. May God bless you all for coming on. Thank you all for being a part of this program. There's 2 videos that I need to play for you. I want you to listen to this.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free.
That is the voice of the late Ronald Reagan, quoting a part of the American Constitution where they speak about we, the people. The former president, or the late president, went on to say that majority of the world's constitution speaks about government telling people what to do. But the American government, the American Constitution rather, speaks about we the people. I wish that was enshrined in the Jamaican Constitution, where the Jamaican people tell the government what to do. They don't tell us what to do. But of course, that's not the case. Listen to this.
then I look at our leaders who, when they are seeking to serve us, when they are seeking our support, they are humility personified. They kiss babies. They go to the shebeen. They drink from dirty cups. They walk on foot. They smile with us. They take photos with everybody. They discard their security. They are humility personified. They speak the language that we want to hear. They do the things that they think we want to see them do. They delude us. They cheat us. And somehow we accept that they are leaders. But immediately they get what they want. Oh, they have a reverse Pauline conversion. If they were Paul, they go back to being Sauls. And we can no longer recognize them. When you ring them, their phones are picked by somebody called a PA, whose only claim to fame that he is rude beyond measure. When you go to the offices, they no longer want to see you. When they are driving in the streets, their sirens scare you. While I suspect that those who discovered the siren meant that it should be used for good purposes, for them it is a badge of honor, and they harass us in the streets. They acquire things which they have not worked for. They promise us things that they know they will never deliver. They want to be described as honorable even when they are horrible. These are the men that we have.
They want to be recognized as honorable even when they're horrible. This we're going to say so long from here for another day.
We the people tell the government what to do. It doesn't tell us. We the people are the driver. The government is the car. And we decide where it should go and by what route and how fast. Almost all the world's constitutions are documents in which governments tell the people what their privileges are. Our Constitution is a document in which we, the people, tell the government what it is allowed to do. We, the people, are free.
Wow. We, the people. We, the people. I wish that was in the Jamaican Constitution, but it's not.
Leadership in government is political power, and political power is an official form of antagonizing the people. Politics are necessary. Politics are... You don't... It's in Congress that in this certificate of speed, we are shut in and shut off by passport. And free speech, does that exist?
No, you've got it all.
And free enterprise. Can I? Monopoly is the menace.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, people. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon to know when I go live. On behalf of all of us here, I want to say have a good evening. May God bless you. May God bless Jamaica land we love. Good afternoon.
When the game gets rough and this life just seems so tough, make we talk, my people, make we talk. When this town becomes an ugly place, Don't let it erase the smile from your face. Make we talk, people, make we talk. Conversation is the key, a guiding light for you and me. Spark a talk and you will see. Conflict solver A to Z. World leaders master the art of self-defense just by talk. So people, make we talk. Hey, we're living in a world that on ourselves we must depend. Make we talk.